contingents all around the stadium. The former US President Bill Clinton also here as well, but plenty of African fans here, and they'll now sing and stand for the Ghanaian national anthem. Support here for Ghana as well. The vuvuzelas blare out across this open stadium, the most northwest venue here in South Africa. A smoky atmosphere as well. The local farmers burning what's left of the summer crop all around this stadium in this rural backdrop. And that smoke, Dan, is a real feature, something we haven't seen elsewhere.
No, so I've been here twice before, but during the day, and it wasn't really noticeable. All of a sudden now, it's almost like a fine haze or a mist just hanging above the stadium.
Andy Murray has won the first set against Gilles Simon at Wimbledon by 6 games to 1. Commentary on that game continues over on our sister station BBC 5 Live. But here on Sports Extra, the United States of America and Ghana playing for the right to meet Uruguay in the quarter-finals of the World Cup. Uruguay beating South Korea at a rain-lashed Port Elizabeth earlier on today. 2 goals from Luis Suarez, sending the South American team through, and just emphasising what a good tournament it's been for that continent so far. Ghana in a Melchester Rover strip, Danny, good to see.
Yeah, but I say I've not seen that yet. Very colourful, and hopefully they put on a performance. So far, what I've seen, they've been a little bit under par. And it'd be nice for the majority of the home fans and the nation of South Africa to really get behind one of their own tonight. But I just think the Americans might have a little bit too much.
Ghana in their red and yellow stripes break away to the right hand side. The United States in their familiar strip now of all white with blue and red trim break away to the left. And looking at Landon Donovan during the national anthem, he wasn't singing, Danny, he looked incredibly focused.
Well, like we said earlier, touched on it, he is their main player. He carries a lot of their hopes. We've seen him in the Premier League, fantastic striker of the ball, very, very good. He epitomised what they're all about, hard work, bit of pace, but tonight they're going to have to play differently. The last game and a half they've been able to go out and just attack. Tonight it's going to have to be completely different. They're going to have to be a bit more organised, a bit more patient, and really just see what the Ghanaians have got.
So the teams for you, the US have picked the same side which beat Algeria dramatically in injury time to win their group ahead of England. Tim Howard in goal, Jonathan Bornstein, Jay Demerit, Carlos Bocanegra and Steve Cherundolo the back four, Maurice Edu and Michael Bradley anchoring the midfield, Clint Dempsey wide to the right, Landon Donovan to the left, with Josie Altidore supporting Heracles Gomez in attack. One change for Ghana, Prince Tego has been left out, so Samuel Incoom will come in down the right-hand side of midfield. Richard Kingston in goal, John Pansil, John Mensah, Jonathan Mensah and Hans Sarpay the back four. Anthony Annan will anchor in midfield, Kevin Prince Boateng and Kwado Asamoah ahead of him, with Dede Ayew and Samuel Incoom supporting their lone striker Asamoah Gyan, their only scorer so far at the World Cup, and both of those goals have come from the penalty spot. Underway here in Rustenburg, Ghana in their red and yellow stripes, playing from right to left in the first half in this very open stadium, the only cover offered by the main stand here where we're sat on a clear, still evening, not too chilly here in the northwest province in South Africa, and it will be a fascinating battle because Ghana aren't just playing for their pride, they're playing for African pride as well.
Yeah, definitely, and like I said earlier, they need to really put in a performance to get their competition going, if you like.
Ayew now down this near side there left, plays it back towards Sarpai up in support, but a poor ball in field, intercepted, and now Altidore plays it forward for the States. Wide towards this near side, looking for a break towards the edge of the penalty area, but in the end the ball is smuggled back towards Richard Kingston, defending the Ghanaian goal away to our right-hand side, and it looks at a very open start to this game.
Yeah, again, the Americans are very, very organised defensively, you can see that already, and I think they will look to use their pace of Dempsey, of Donovan, to break forward as often as possible.
It's played forward now, wide towards this near side, and Landon Donovan, early ball into the penalty area, dangerous ball as well, but nobody gambled there, moving in towards the far post, and it couldn't be received by Altidore in the centre, and Ghana there with a relative escape.
Again, Landon Donovan, the main man, down the right hand side, good ball across the box, just outside the 6-yard box. The keeper can't come for it. Unfortunately, Altidore hadn't made enough ground to get into the box.
Ghana will try and clear on the far side, and eventually they do. Kevin Prince Boateng up towards the halfway line, but his clearance was charged down. We have a Hungarian referee here tonight, Viktor Kasai, who took charge of Brazil against North Korea in the opening round of games here at the 2010 World Cup. And this is the final match played here in this stadium in Rustenburg, one of the more isolated venues in the north of South Africa, but both teams have experienced this ground already. Of course, the US drew 1-1, notably with England in their opening game, and Ghana also drew with Australia by the same scoreline later on in their second game, as Ghana play the ball forward. Pansel on the far side, heading forward, looking for the run of Incoom, but the ball drifts out, and that will be a throw into the US midway inside their own half.
Both teams starting to settle down a little bit now, both look a little bit tentative, which is to be expected. This is a huge game for both teams. It's no longer group football, it's knockout football. And, they will both want to set their stall at 20 minutes, not give away anything silly.
2 minutes played here, goalless between the US and Ghana, and the ball just drifts away down this near side away from AU, and the Americans have a throw-in, and that's a good point Danny makes. It will be knockout here tonight, with extra time and penalties if necessary, as Bradley, with the shaven head, the manager's son for the US, does well to win the ball in the midfield and plays it further wide to the far side, where Cherundolo will find Clint Dempsey. Infield again towards Bradley, always looks a very neat and tidy player, and the US here are stroking the ball around with real purpose. Cherundolo again, a long ball played forward by Demerit, looking for Altidore, but it's cleared away by John Mensah, one of two Mensahs in the Ghana back four, and now Guillan does well to spread the play wide towards the far side, and Ghana moving forward here. Incoom with a long cross shot into the penalty area, can't find Guillan, and it's behind for an American goal kick.
And that's one of Ghana's biggest problems. When they attack individually, and again, resorting to long pot shots from 40-50 yards. They need to really get collectively together up front. The three players individually are very, very good, but for some reason they don't play together, they don't work off each other, and of course that then means it's very, very difficult to score.
4 minutes played here in Rustenburg. The United States 0, Ghana 0 in the last 16 of the World Cup. As Dempsey comes forward now, tries a shot, but it was an easy one in the end for Richard Kingston, who, unlike Robert Green on this ground, gathered very comfortably.
Yeah, decent shot, straight at the keeper, but obviously Kingston did make a horrendous error against Australia on this pitch and gifted them a goal. So I think they're right to test him early on. Dempsey
now of Fulham plays it back towards Bradley, who plays in Germany in the Bundesliga for Borussia Mönchengladbach. His ball forward hits a former German, Kevin Prince Boateng, and that will be a throw-in to the US down this near side. And Bob Bradley's team really lived on the edge during the group phase. Of course, that 1-1 draw against England, followed by some dramatic late action, as Boateng brings it forward now for Ghana into the penalty area, and he scored! Kevin Prince Boateng with a brilliant goal, a long run forward and a shot catching out Tim Howard at the near post. Ghana celebrate, Africa celebrate, they lead the United States by a goal to nil.
Well, I think that's possibly the best thing that could happen for this game for the neutral, but again it was a goal of individual skill, individual brilliance. He robbed the ball off the midfield, from the American midfield, kept running with the ball. The two centre-halves, John Demerit didn't get close enough to him, allowed the shot, and I think we've not seen it again yet, but I think Tim Howard will be a little bit disappointed to be beaten at his near post.
Boateng allowed to carry the ball forward from halfway. It was a low left-footed shot, and really that was Tim Howard's side of the goal as the attack developed, and I think he was caught out maybe.
Yeah, definitely. It just shifted it to the side, didn't do much with the ball. Demerit wasn't close enough to get the block off, and I say it's not a goalkeeper mistake, but a keeper, the quality of Tim Howard, I think will be disappointed with his positioning.
So for the second time in this World Cup, the United States concede early on this ground. They fell behind to England thanks to Steven Gerrard in the opening 5 minutes, and now the same has happened here thanks to Kevin Prince Boateng, who now is caught very, very late in the midfield. Some frustration there from an American challenge, and this will be a free kick given to Ghana, who very much on top in the opening stages.
Yeah, Clark, I think a bit of frustration there, came flying in. Just caught him at a fraction late, but to be fair, the Ghanaians jumped up and got on with it. I think now we've got a real game on our hands, really, because so many times already in this tournament the Americans have come from behind. That's where they seem almost at their best, and like I said, for the neutral, I think this could turn it into a real game now.
Ghana lead here with nearly 7 minutes played by a 0-0 against the United States. They were the only African side to qualify for the second round 4 years ago in Germany, likewise here in South Africa, and can they become the first African team since Senegal back in 2002 to make the quarter-finals of the FA Cup and of the World Cup, as they bring the ball forward again on the far side. A good ball wide towards this near side, and Ayew looking to attack the penalty area. Now Boateng, tricky play from him by the byline, tries to deliver a low ball in, he manages it, and it's cleared away by Demerit up towards the halfway line for America. And there's battling played down this near side from Finlay, who does well to play it forward looking for Altidore, but Ghana will clear again, and you can see the confidence coursing through the African players' veins. Their first goal from open play here at the World Cup. Previously Gyan had scored 2 penalties, but now Kevin Prince Boateng has really brought their campaign alive.
And it is a cliche, but goals change games. This is a massive change in this game, and also it's the confidence that the Ghanaians have suddenly got. They all want the ball, they're all looking for it, they're working a little bit harder. It's such a difference for them.
Altidore now, midway inside the Ghanaian half, gives the ball away to Boateng, and Ghana will try and break again. They are really a counter-attacking side. Gyan plays the ball back towards Pansil on the far side, the Ghanaian right, and now infield towards Annan, who does a good job anchoring their midfield. Wide towards this near side, and Sarpai, and now Ayew again. Ghana leading here by a 0-0, and they could be facing the prospect of a quarter-final against Uruguay in Johannesburg at Soccer City on Friday. And I think if an African team could qualify for a game there, such a huge stadium, 90,000 fans there, they would have massive support against the South Americans. But a long way to go in this game, and as we've already seen, the Americans have come from behind on a number of occasions. Against England, they were 2 goals down against Slovenia before rescuing a draw in that controversial game in Johannesburg, before scoring that injury time winner, Landon Donovan's goal against Algeria, which turned them from a team going out in the first round to a side winning their group ahead of England, which is why the US are here and England are playing Germany in Bloemfontein tomorrow. The throw-in for the States comes to nothing, and Ghana try and bring the ball forward again now. Gyan wide towards this near side, and Boateng back towards Gyan again, but the challenge comes in from Jay Demerit of Watford, and that will be a Ghana throw-in about 15 yards inside their own half, and the Americans look a bit shocked.
Yeah, they do. I don't think they were expecting that at all, and all of a sudden they've just got to regroup, show a little bit of composure, get their game going again. They obviously had a game plan, plenty of time left in this game yet. They've just got to get the ball, start passing it around. At the moment, the Ghanaians look a lot more confident from what they were in the opening 2 or 3 minutes, and all of a sudden now they're passing it around with confidence, keeping the ball very well.
Annan plays the ball back towards Jonathan Mensah, one of 2 central defenders. He has Jonathan on his shirt with John Mensah settling for Mensah as Ghana bring the ball forward again now. Gyan, good football as it's spread wide towards this near side, and Ayew, who maybe took his eye off the ball bounces between his legs and goes out for a throw into the States down this near side. And as we were saying before kick-off, plenty of stars and stripes and flags of St George inside the stadium, but also a good deal of Ghanaian support, particularly away down to our right-hand side. Their national colours of green, yellow and red very much in evidence. And it's also worth mentioning that the crowd here, which was fairly sparse before kick-off, has gradually grown as the game has gone on, and now not too far short of capacity here, maybe a crowd of around 35,000 inside this stadium. But it's also worth making the point as well, the security trying to get into this stadium was extremely intense well before this game.
I really didn't think we were that important.
I don't think it was for us.
Was it not?
I think Mr. Clinton and the cardboard cutout of Obama may have had something to do with that. Here's Ayew coming forward now for Ghana down the left. A low driven ball into the penalty area, cleared away as far as Boateng again. This time his shot, though, is high and wide onto the running track which circles this pitch.
But again, yeah, it just goes to show Ayew, not an awful lot of composure when he goes to cross that. He's in good space on the edge of the area, and really he just drives the ball fairly aimlessly into the box, not trying to pick anybody out at all. And I think that's their only downfall, the Ghanaians. When they get in the final third, they almost seem to run out of ideas, and they're relying on individual brilliance or creativity.
Bill Clinton here is sat next to Mick Jagger in the stand, so maybe the Rolling Stones leading singer also thought that England would play here, as Altidore tries a shot on the edge of the penalty area, and it's dragged well wide for the United States. We've played 12 minutes here on 5 Live Sports Extra, and Ghana lead America by 1-0. Kevin Prince Boateng of Portsmouth with his first international goal, a fine individual goal as well, and at the moment the sole African survivors in the World Cup are heading for a quarter-final against Uruguay. But the Americans have shown plenty of spirit so far in this tournament, but now they'll have to defend as Ghana come forward again now. Nkum with a long ball into the penalty area, and it's hooked away on the far side by Cherundolo, but now Ghana have it back again now. Boateng back towards Annan, and now wide to the far side, and Pansil. A high ball into the penalty area, only 2 shirts there in red and yellow stripes, and the Americans clear the ball away, and that will be a throw into the Africans midway inside the American half.
Yeah, the Ghanaians now start to take control a little bit in this half, pushing the Americans back. Like I said, the Americans a little bit shell-shocked. They need their key players to get on the ball and get their game going now.
Poked forward now by Sarpai, looking for Ayew down this near side, but a good recovery by Steve Cherundolo, and Ghana have another throw-in, and at the moment America are finding it very, very difficult to break out of their own half. Ghana playing extremely well here. Gyan, their lone striker, back towards Boateng, and they spread the ball around confidently. Jonathan Mensah finds Pansil. Moving into the American half now to find Annan. That's half a dozen passes played around crisply by the Ghanaians, and now wide towards the far side, and Nkum, a low ball in towards the near post. Gyan hadn't read the intention, and Carlos Bocanegra should be able to clear the ball away on the far side with the help of Jonathan Bornstein.
But yet again, the Ghanaians so good up until the final third, passed it around. The final ball delivery yet again was poor.
Boateng inside the centre circle for Ghana. 13 minutes played here, leading by 1-0 in Rustenburg. A very smoky Rustenburg, as Ayew on this near side dabs a ball in field, a rather dangerous ball, but it breaks to Boateng, and now Ghana can play the ball forward towards Gyan on the edge of the penalty area. Had to move with his back to goal again and try and play it wide to the far side, looking for Nkum, and via Pansil the ball eventually finds him. A low diagonal ball in, looking for Gyan again, but it's cleared away by Demerit, and now America will try and break. Bradley finds Donovan down this near side, the right, forward towards Finlay on the edge of the penalty area, and smart defending there by Jonathan Mensah to come across ahead of his goalkeeper and play the ball away for a throw-in.
Well, the Americans, the first time they've really forayed into the Ghanaian half, needs to do more of that. Needs to get Donovan on the ball, needs to get Dempsey on the ball, Bradley on the ball, and try and get Altidore running through to create some opportunities.
Donovan now down this near side, the right, looking to come in field, but his first touch was heavy, and he was caught late there by Annan on the edge of the penalty area, and the assistant referee had a good view of that. The referee was maybe shielded by the other players, and nothing was given. No,
just seeing the replay, he took the ball and followed through. Good old-fashioned tackle, I think that's called.
You'll appreciate that, as Dempsey picks up a loose ball from Asamoah in the centre circle, looks to spin away towards the far side and find Bornstein, but now plays a long ball forward, Altidore inside the penalty area, but the ball just gathered pace there off the turf and bounces behind for a goal kick to Ghana, who lead by 1-0.
More like it from the USA. Good little chip from Dempsey on the angle. Altidore running in behind, a fraction too hard, just maybe a yard from it. If he'd have brought that down, he'd had a clear sight on goal.
Plenty of support here for Ghana, but 1,000 of their supporters were flown home by the government this morning because they were brought out here with publicly funded money to support their team, and now the money has run out and they've been forced to go home before one of the biggest matches in their nation's history, as Ghana bring the ball forward again now. And when a throw-in, Boateng will leave it to the fullback, Hans Sarpai. And at the moment, Bob Bradley, the American coach, looking to get a bit more energy from his team as the ball forward is cleared away by the States. Bradley with a long ball forward, looking for Finlay over the top. Two Ghanaian players go for the same ball, and in the end, Jonathan Mensah does well to take responsibility and head it back towards Kingston.
Yeah, good header back to the keeper, but Finlay was very, very cute. Realised he wasn't going to win the ball, gambled on it being headed back to the keeper, and was unfortunate that the header was just too strong and went back to the keeper's arms.
Robbie Finlay, who plays for the MLS champions Real Salt Lake, and he's wearing gloves here tonight, and on what is a relatively mild evening as America give the ball away. Ayew coming forward now for Ghana down this near side, and he was fouled there by Cherundolo, and if the American escapes a yellow card, he'll be very, very fortunate he isn't, and if the States go through, Steve Cherundolo will not play in the quarter-final. Well,
the Americans at the moment, they cannot get their game going. Obviously they had a game plan, and that has had to go completely out the window now. They were not expecting this. I wasn't expecting this, to be honest, and all of a sudden now they need some leaders out there, because at the moment no one is taking control for them, and all of a sudden the Ghanaians are starting to grow in confidence and really getting on top of this game.
17 minutes played here. Ghana lead the United States by 1-0, and this a free kick wide on the left hand side, and the set-piece play of Ghana has been a notable feature of their play so far at this World Cup. Guillen is over this free kick along with Asamoah, and it will be struck by Guillen. A decent effort, fisted away by Tim Howard towards the far side at the expense of a throw-in.
Yeah, very good strike. Unfortunate for Guillen, almost straight at Tim Howard, who decided not to catch the ball, decided to punch, but it was a decent punch away, got plenty of distance, then went out for a throw-in on the far side.
And Dempsey has conceded another throw-in now under pressure from Sarpai, and Ghana here are playing their best football of the tournament so far, no question, with 18 minutes played. Here is Guillen, wide towards Sarpai again, a low ball into the penalty area, headed away by Ricardo Clark. Boateng goes for goal as well. It takes a deflection off Bocanegra, and the States will clear only as far as Jonathan Mensah. And at the moment Ghana are keeping their opponents pinned inside their own half, and now Altidore is pulled up for a foul on the far side on Pansil, and Ghana will have another set piece.
Well, I think that's a result of the goal. Suddenly now the Ghanaians, it's almost like they feel a foot taller. They all want the ball, they're passing it around, they look confident, and this is a much improved performance from what I've seen so far.
A free kick forward, headed away inside the penalty area by Bocanegra, but the chase was made down the centre by Guillen, and in the end Tim Howard had to come out and fist the ball away dramatically on the far side for another throw into Ghana, and there's unease right throughout the States team. Yeah,
and even Tim Howard, he's in his box, catch the ball. It was head high, you might take a knock from the centre forward, but pick it up, don't put your team under more pressure.
Long throw into the American penalty area, it's headed away by Bornstein and hooked clear eventually by Clark up towards the halfway line, and Altidore does well to find Donovan. The US can break now, back towards Altidore again, who holds on to the ball, goes to ground. It seemed a fair challenge there from Ghana, and in the end they bring the ball away up towards the halfway line with Ayew down this near side there left. Nearly 20 minutes played here in Rustenburg on 5 Live Sports Extra, and Ghana lead the United States by 1-0. Here's Ayew again, infield towards Asamoah, and the ball down the channel was overhit, and it's out for the States, who just need to get a foothold in this game.
Yeah, they had a decent opportunity to break a minute ago, but Altidore dwelled too long on the ball. Dempsey gone one side, Donovan gone the other. He dwelled, and the Ghanaian, I think it was Anand, was able to get back and tackle him.
And Ghana only just reached this stage. They beat Serbia by 1-0 in their opening game, a late penalty from Guillen, then drew 1-1 against Australia, who played much of the game with 10 men, another Guillen penalty, before losing to Germany by 1-0, but they were helped out by Australia, who beat Serbia in their final game. So Ghana really sneaked through to the last 16 of this competition, but at the moment they're doing their best to seize the opportunity. As a heavy first touch there from Dempsey, almost gives the ball away in the central area to Incoom, and Incoom caught him late, and that will be a free kick to the United States. But even somebody like Dempsey, who's usually so economical on the ball, is giving the ball away.
Yeah, like I say, the Americans, they just need to get their foot on it, get their passing game going. Don't panic. There's plenty of time to get back into this. But like I said, for me, the Ghanaians have upped their game from one of the two previous games by a good 25%.
Cherundolo will take a throw in for the States down this near side, midway inside the Ghana half. The US in all white, playing from left to right in the opening 45 minutes, trailing here by a goal to nil. Cherundolo with a powerful run forward. He was fouled there by Kevin Prince Boateng, level with the edge of the Ghana penalty area, and this is a free kick for the States in a dangerous position.
Again, this is all about delivery. This is probably about 3 yards outside the box, 2 yards in from the touchline. This ball needs to go about 2 yards outside the 6-yard box. That means defenders are chasing towards their own goal. Very, very difficult to head. The centre forward defenders for the United States can tumble in on it.
Donovan with the free kick high into the penalty area. Ghana do well to head the ball away down this near side. Donovan initially can't pick up the loose ball, but Cherundolo plays it infield towards Demerit. A long diagonal ball forward, aim for Dempsey on the far side, and he gets there ahead of Pansil. And now Bradley onside inside the penalty area. A low ball across the face of goal, gathered by Kingston at the second attempt.
Again, good. That's much better from the United States. Decent ball out to Dempsey, who plays a clever little ball down the side of Pansil. Bradley, for me, he just snatches at it a little bit. Maybe a little dink to the far post rather than try and drive it across, which is easier for the keeper.
At the other end now, Asamoah is now fouled by a combination of Clark and Dempsey just inside the American half, and Ghana have a free kick. 22 minutes played here, and this game has flown by because it's been so open, Danny.
Yeah, definitely. Now hopefully the United States will get their game going and come into it a bit more. But yeah, neither team have sort of said, well, okay, we'll just go and defend. I don't think that's really in Ghana's nature to do that either. And I would really expect there to be more goals in this.
Now, this is a very young Ghanaian team, the average age only 24, and a number of these players won the World Under-20 Championship in Brazil back in October, so in many ways they're looking ahead to the next World Cup in Brazil in 2014 rather than this one. But these young players will gain so much experience from playing here and also playing well in the latter stages of a World Cup tournament, as the Americans try and bring the ball forward on the far side again, but they give away possession, and Incoom will take a throw in for the African team, who bring the ball in field looking very compact and very confident in the opening 25 minutes here. Wide towards this near side, and Ayew again, the son of Abide Pele, the most famous Ghanaian player. But of course some of these players could even surpass what he achieved in the long term, as the Americans win the ball back but then concede possession, but have a throw in down this near side, the American right, taken by Cherundolo infield towards Ricardo Clark, who was brought back into the team this evening but has done little so far apart from receive a yellow card. Now Bradley further wide towards Dempsey down the American left. Dempsey has it again now, but Ghana are working very, very hard, and they are compressing the space for the Americans to move into in the final third. They now have 9 outfield players back defending an American attack just inside their own half. Bornstein on the far side finds Altidore, who was peeled away to the American left, and now a good ball in the field from him to find Demerit on towards the playmaker Donovan. Cherundolo offering width down this near side the right, but he goes to the left, Donovan, and finds Bornstein, who in turn gives the ball away, and now Incoom can break forward for Ghana. Infield towards Annan. Boateng and Guian are ahead of him, and now Guian is found and plays a good ball wide towards Incoom again. Nobody inside the penalty area for Ghana, but it's a neat ball down the channel right hand side to find Guian again, twisting and turning back towards Incoom. A low ball in towards the near post, headed behind by Bradley for a Ghana corner.
Much better from Ghana. We said earlier that they can give the ball away too easily in the attacking third. That time a patient build up. They do like to play on the counter-attack, but when they got there, they put their foot on the ball, composed, a couple of 1-2s around the box, a decent ball, and that's what's forced the corner.
Asamoah will take the corner for Ghana on the far side there right, leading here by a goal to nil with 25 minutes played. Driven high in towards the near post, Bradley flicks the ball up in the air, and Howard does well under pressure to allow the ball to drop and gather with both hands. And this ground has really filled up since kick-off. I would think now well in excess of 35,000 in this stadium, and Ghana do have all of the local support. It's been really good how every single African football supporter, it seems, has got behind the Ghanaians in the last couple of days. We saw plenty of white South Africans outside the stadium with the Ghana national colours painted on their faces and waving Ghanaian flags on the way into this ground, and their team have made the perfect start. But here's Altidore forward towards Dempsey on the edge of the penalty area for the United States, but Ghana do well to clear back over the top by Bocanegra, but Pansil should be allowed to shepherd this ball behind, but his Fulham teammate Dempsey snaps in with the challenge, so Pansil turns around and now plays a long ball forward for Ghana up towards the halfway line. Altidore will now jump with Annan, and the ball breaks towards the African team. Incoom now twisting and turning, has support from Asamoah and also Boateng down the centre, and the ball's aimed towards the Portsmouth player, and it may break towards Asamoah now. A poor ball back into the penalty area, a low ball driven in there would have given Boateng a great chance to make it 2-0.
Again, poor defensive play from the Americans. Two players going for the same ball, Chiralindo and Demerit. Ball broke again, it broke on the far side, it was Asamoah, and it just didn't have the composure to roll the ball across, which would have been an easy tap in for Guyane. That's the only thing for me that Ghanaians lack, is that composure in the last third.
But they lead here by a goal to nil, and so far Richard Kingston, their goalkeeper, hasn't really had a difficult chance to save it. But it's a throw-in to the States with 27 minutes played, taken by Landon Donovan. Back to Cherendola, who comes in field, plays a poor ball behind Michael Bradley, and that will go out of play on the far side for a throw-in to Ghana, who are the only team, the only African team to reach the last 16 twice in World Cup history. Nigeria, the previous side, back in 94 and 98, and already the Americans are looking to make a change. Maurice Edu of Rangers is the man who will be coming on as Bradley plays a long ball forward into the penalty area. It was initially dropped by Kingston, but under no real pressure he's able to gather and quickly bowl the ball out towards this near side, and Ayew support further wide of him from Kwadwo Asamoah, and now infield towards Boateng, a dummy from him, and Annan can spread the play wide towards the right hand side, and Pansil, lots of room in wide areas for Ghana. Now Incoom is onside on the far side there right, Pansil offering support, but in the end Incoom holds on to the ball. The challenge comes in from Dempsey, and that will be a Ghanaian throw-in.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Clark comes off. He's had a booking, hasn't been the greatest up till now, but again, the Americans, they've come from behind before. That's when they've been at their best in this tournament. So hopefully, and the fans will definitely be hoping that's the case, that this will be another performance, it gets them going, and they can come from behind.
Incoom now coming in field for Ghana, down the right hand side, square towards Boateng, a low shot from him, fizzed through the crowd and was gathered by Tim Howard on the edge of his penalty area. Yeah,
decent effort from 25 yards, didn't really catch hold of it, and in the end a comfortable save to his right at Tim Howard.
Findlay does well to control the ball for America. Now Dempsey, Altidore though is offside on the far side there left, and that will be a Ghanaian free kick, and Bob Bradley, the US coach, is deep in conversation with Maurice Edu on the touchline downstairs as Ghana bring the ball forward again on the far side with Guyane. Infield towards Asamoah, and now Boateng, who's played extremely well in addition to the only goal so far in the opening half hour or so. Now Boateng again, wide towards Ayew, who comes in field beyond the challenge of Cherendola. It's still Andre Ayew, back in field towards Annan, and at the moment Ghana deserve to be ahead by a goal to nil. They've been the better team, but the ball played forward on the far side, aimed for Incoom, is overhit, and that will be an American goal kick.
Well, this is a much improved Ghanaian side from the last two games that I've seen, and this is the sort of performance that England have to put on. They're going to, this is the last 16, the knockout stages of the World Cup finals. You need to raise your game. Ghana have certainly done that tonight, and we all hope that obviously England can do it tomorrow as well.
And Ricardo Clark is the man who is coming off, so Maurice Edu, the man he replaced for this game, comes on with barely half an hour played, and I suppose it's a sensible move from Bob Bradley, because Clark's got himself booked and he's now being hugged by Bob Bradley. He's almost apologising there, the American coach, and Clark doesn't look too happy, but they can't afford to lose a player in this game, can they? Due to discipline.
Definitely not. And I said, that's possibly why he's come off. But that's good management. He's been brave. He's made a decision. The players come off. He's obviously disappointed. But the he's put his arm around him. He's had a quick chat, and he's probably just explained why he's done that. And although the player is still disappointed, he now understands why he's been brought off, and I think that's very, very good management.
Demerit with the blonde hair for the States plays it forward now towards Edu, and wide towards this near side, and Cherundolo back towards Demerit again. A long ball played forward, flicked on by Bradley, and good defending there by Jonathan Mensah to cut out that flick into the penalty area, with Clint Dempsey hovering behind him. Ghana now clear up towards the halfway line with Ayew infield towards Gyan, and a neat triangular possession there from Ghana, and they've looked very, very comfortable on the ball moving forward, as it's played forward now by Sarpai up towards the halfway line, cleared away by Bocanegra, and the ball will drift out on the far side for a throw into Ghana midway inside their own half, leading the United States by a goal to nil. Earlier on today, Uruguay beat South Korea in a very, very wet Port Elizabeth by 2-1. Luis Suarez with 2 goals there. So Uruguay await the winners of this tie at Soccer City on Friday, as Donovan just tries to dab a ball forward. They're looking for Finlay down the centre, but the pass never found him, and Ghana can break again. Andy Murray now leads Gilles Simon by 2-0 in the tennis at Wimbledon. Commentary on that over on BBC 5 Live, as Ayew plays a long crossfield pass from left to right for Ghana, looking for Incoom on the far side, but America will bring the ball away. The Vuvuzelas drone on endlessly here in support of the final African team in this continent's first World Cup. Bradley infield towards Dempsey, and now wide towards Cherundolo. Down this near side, the American right, but their passing in midfield for America has often looked laboured so far, as Edu brings it forward now. He's fouled by Boateng, and that will be an American free kick. Yeah, and just on that, Nigel, I think you're right. It has been not as sharp, and we talked about how fantastic their spirit had been, their fitness in the last few games, their energy. Perhaps that has just started to take its toll, and that's why they've started this game slowly. They've used up so much energy in the last couple of games, having to force the pace, but at the moment they're just feeling the effects of that. Boateng now inside the centre circle for Ghana. Now the overlapping Sarpai will bring it forward down the left, but he can't find Ayew, and the States will bring the ball away. They've only led in the game for a couple of minutes in the whole World Cup, when Landon Donovan scored that goal in injury time against Algeria. They came from 2 goals down to draw with Slovenia, and also had a goal controversially disallowed, and of course came from behind in that 1-1 draw here with England. As Gyan plays the ball wide to the far side, and Pansil for Ghana. Poor delivery yet again into the penalty area and behind for a goal kick. So that's the only frustrating things about the Ghanaians. Their final ball in just isn't good enough at times. And for me, what the Americans they need a spark. They need Landon Donovan or Dempsey or Alstor to get a ball, to got to run, have a decent shot at the keeper, test him. They need a lift, they need a catalyst to get them going, and at the moment that's it's just not there. Given away though by Ghana. Donovan forward looking for Finlay. Now Bradley tries to find Altidore. It breaks towards Dempsey, forwards toward Finlay inside the penalty area, blocked by the legs of Kingston. But now Donovan for the States, moving forward again, trying to get the ball onto his left foot. He's driven square in the penalty area and back towards Bornstein, but the States have plenty of white shirts forward now. Bradley finding Cherundolo down this near side, infield again towards Maurice Edu, and now it's Bocanegra trying to keep this move alive, short towards Dempsey, back towards Bocanegra again, and here's Dempsey a second time. Thinks about a long pass forward, but instead drives forward towards the edge of the Ghana penalty area, goes for goal, right-footed. A shot hit with the outside of his right boot, and it's gathered by Richard Kingston. And maybe that will just give the USA a little bit of a lift. We'll just see it again here. Finlay, for me, he has to do better. He got to shoot across the keeper. He didn't look particularly confident running through one-on-one, and really he's put it straight at the keeper. Always go across the far post, then if the keeper saves it, you've got a chance of a rebound. 35 minutes played here in Rustenburg. Ghana 1, the United States of America 0 in the last 16 of the World Cup here on 5 Live Sports Extra. Incoom with a long ball forward into the American penalty area. It was missed by Demerit, headed away by Cherundolo down this near side, and now a sliding challenge comes in from AU on Donovan, who almost does a pirouette and a somersault on the turf there, and that will be a free kick to the United States.
Yeah, clever play from Donovan. Just bought the free kick, just towed it away from I think it was AU, and as he was sliding in, just left his foot there, just caught him and rolled over for the free kick.
Tim Howard with the free kick for the States. Long downfield, looking for Finlay. Overhit though, and it will dribble all the way through for a goal kick to Ghana. And the last 5 games they've won have all been by a 1-0 scoreline, so that does show they can defend a lead. Yeah, definitely. But again, we just see the chance again on the monitor from Finlay. It was a poor finish. One-on-one with the keeper. You expect to do better than that. Make the keeper at least work hard. Don't just kick the ball straight at him. Kingston, wearing all lilac, clears downfield for Ghana, flicked on by Guian, and there's a chase now for Asamoah into the penalty area, and the shot blocked well by Tim Howard at the near post. Again, poor defending from Demerit. Ball comes in, a long, hopeful ball forward, gets flicked on. Demerit gets in all sorts of bother, goes for it with the wrong leg, and Asamoah, good strike, but this time Tim Howard equal to it at the near post. And Asamoah is in some trouble here. I think he twisted something as he fell to the ground. The momentum following the effort of that shot, and our Hungarian referee is telling him to try and crawl a couple of yards off the pitch behind that goal to receive some treatment, because Ghana have a throw-in down this near side. 8 minutes to play in what has been a fascinating first half, as Guian now handles the ball as it tries to burst into the area, and that will be a free kick to the States. And it's noticeable, Danny, that Landon Donovan is doing much of his work very, very deep, really epitomising the way the Americans have played so far. Yeah, they can't really get out of their half. They've had no sustained pressure in the Ghanaian half, and it's difficult for them at the moment. They haven't got those special midfield players. They are very much a team, the way they work together, and at the moment they haven't got someone that can pull the strings for them in the central midfield to release the likes of Dempson, Donovan and Altidore going forward. Dempsey now has a free kick about 15 yards inside the Ghana half, down this near side, the American right. 38 minutes played here on 5 Live Sports Extra, and the States trail the Ghanaians by a 1-0. Donovan will take this free kick, and every single Ghana player is back defending. A very packed penalty area, and the ball in, flicked away by the head of Jonathan Mensah towards the far side, and that will be a throw-in to the United States. They do have some physicality and height, the Americans, but Ghana are a big team as well, and that sort of set piece isn't really going to trouble them. Yeah, it's from too deep. Very, very difficult to score from there. You're looking at heading the ball from 13, 14 yards. Most keepers will fancy themselves from there. The Africans in the crowd here getting very, very excited. Their team, in inverted commas, unless you come from Ghana, of course, leading here by a 0 against the United States, and the Stars and Stripes, which were waved lustily before kick-off, now look very forlorn. It's a long ball played forward for Ghana again into the penalty area, looking for Asamoah, who seems to have the run of demerit for much of the first half, but on this occasion he can't control the ball, and it's behind for a goal kick. And I think what is worth mentioning again of note, the fact that all the African fans are supporting their home continent. I'm not sure the French and the Italians are supporting England at the moment. Well, Michel Platini, the president of UEFA and the French legend, is here tonight. I'm not too sure he would have been supporting England should they have been here, for political as well as football reasons, as Dempsey plays it wide to the far side for the United States, and now it's played back across towards Cherundolo, who comes in field beyond Ewu. Lots of white shirts forward supporting the attackers. Bornstein now finds Dempsey, level with the edge of the Ghanaian penalty area. Bornstein continues his run, but it's played infield now towards Bradley, lobbed into the penalty area towards the far post, and Donovan tries to keep the move going by hooking the ball back, but in the end I think Bradley's pass was overhit, and it's behind for a goal kick. Yeah, it was meant for Finlay or Altidore. Just overhit it. Donovan wasn't quick enough to get there. It was too far ahead of him. But the Americans so far really
yet to test the keeper, apart from when Finlay went through one-on-one and should have done better. The Ghanaians, for their 1-0 lead, probably deserve it on the balance of play.
Kingston now clears downfield for Ghana. Guillaume will try and flick the ball on, but he's beaten to it in the air by Adu. And now Ghana will have to try and clear down this near side. It's played up towards Boateng, but all he can do is play it back in field towards Mensah. That's John Mensah, who finds his goalkeeper Kingston defending the goal away to our right hand side. Now a long ball played forward towards Guillaume. A very colourful cosmopolitan scene here in Rustenburg as Ghana bring it forward again now. Annen has space to move into the American half. Adu makes a rather token challenge, and it's back towards Pansil. Good ball to find Guillaume, and whenever he seems to turn, he has players running in support. He now goes to ground as he goes shoulder to shoulder with Bradley, and no free kick is given. And the young American will play it forward now towards Adu. And now Altidore, one of a number of American players wearing gloves. And Altidore's done well to burst forward towards the edge of the Ghanaian penalty area, but he can't find Bornstein on the overlap on the far side. And Ghana will clear the ball away, only as far as Bradley. White shirts are still forward in this attack. Bradley comes in field, and he's forced wide to find Cherundolo. A rather loose ball, and now Boateng has won the ball back for Ghana, trying to burst over the halfway line. Good play from him. Holds on to the ball a bit too long, but now Ghana have players in support. It's Asamoah charging forward towards the edge of the penalty area, wide towards Kevin Prince Boateng, looking to come in field now inside the penalty area, back heel towards Asamoah, who goes for goal, and he sweeps the ball high over the top.
Again, the Americans got to blame themselves, getting caught on the ball with loose passing. You know, the Ghanaians, they do have pace, and you know, it is a lot of individualists as they go forward around the box. You know, they will try the unexpected, but again, if they just had a little bit more composure, they would be troubling Tim Howard all night long.
Well, the coach, the Serb, Miovan Rajovac, has been criticised in his homeland, or in Ghana, for producing defensively minded teams, but that's not really been the case here tonight. They've offered far more going forward than the Americans. But here's a throw-in for Landon Donovan of LA Galaxy. Wears number 10, but he leaves it to Cherundolo with 2.5 minutes to play in the first half, and Ghana leading here by a goal to nil. Cherundolo back in field towards Donovan, and now Cherundolo again, but in the time the Americans took to produce those passes, Ghana have players back in support, but now Altidore's ball forward hits Sarpai and goes behind for an American corner.
And at the moment it looks like set pieces are realistically the only real chance that the USA are going to get back into this game, because really up to then they haven't really offered much at all.
Donovan will take this corner for the States, down this near side there right, trailing here by a goal to nil in Rustenburg in the second match in the round of 16. Donovan's corner high into the penalty area, headed away. Bornstein now with a miss-kick shot scuffed into the area, and it's hacked away by Guillen deep into the American half, and Tim Howard comes a full 25 yards outside his penalty area and plays it wide towards Bornstein on the far side. Infield again towards Bocanegra, and now Adu, and the Americans playing the game at walking pace, and Adu's ball forward goes straight through towards Richard Kingston.
Well, the Ghanaians deserve their 1-0 lead. They have played much, much better than previously during this tournament. I think it's going to be a fascinating second half. The Americans are going to have to change their game plan, come out and play and have a real go, but that might allow the pace of the Ghanaians to hit them on the break.
Adu coming forward now for the Americans. Now Dempsey down the left-hand side manages to turn in field and finds Finlay breaking into the area down the American left. He can't deliver a ball in though, and the ball is shepherded behind by Pansil for a goal kick.
Yeah, good defending, good experience from Pansil. Just got his body in between the ball, the goal and the man, and just shielded the ball out of play. A lot stronger than Finlay, who looks quick, but he looks very, very slight.
Goal kick for Ghana as we approach the final 30 seconds of normal time in this first half. Kingston clears downfield, headed back towards the Ghanaian half by Bradley, and now Altidore further wide towards Dempsey, back in field towards Altidore again, who goes down under the challenge of Boateng. But now Bornstein plays the ball in field for America, looking to burst into the penalty area, but checks back and now finds Dempsey. 5 white shirts wait on the edge of the box as Adu finds Bradley. Cherundolo now in space down this near side. The American left, a high ball towards the far post, looking for Dempsey, but the ball goes beyond the Fulham man and out for a goal kick on the far side, and we'll have 1 minute of added time at the end of this first half.
Yeah, I think the Americans really need half-time. They need to regroup, they need some instructions from their manager. They've really lost their way a little bit, and we haven't seen so far the American teams of the last game and a half. Ghana, much the better team, but I think as the Americans push on second half, they are going to be very, very susceptible to being hit on the break. And, you know, Asamoah and Gyan have definitely got the legs on Jay Demerit.
Thrown down the line far side by Annan for Ghana. The ball breaks in field, and maybe one final attack for the Africans in the first half. No, the ball played wide towards this near side for Ayew, and our Hungarian referee blows the half-time whistle, and the Africans in this crowd are jubilant because Ghana lead the United States by a goal to nil. Kevin Prince Boateng with a fine individual goal after just 5 minutes, and as you say, Danny Mills, Ghana on top.
Yeah, definitely. You know, they've been a better side. They've deserved their lead. It was a fantastic goal, good strike, but again, it's only because the Americans were giving the ball away. I think they're a little bit tired, a little bit jaded. Have they got enough left in the tank after what they've been through the last couple of games to turn this fixture around? Ghana
now having their traditional half-time huddle on the pitch. The Americans making their way towards the dressing room, or the locker room I suppose, as they're Americans, and it should be a fascinating second half here in Rustenburg. We could also have extra time or penalties, but at the moment Ghana lead the United States by a goal to nil. Thank you very much indeed. And the Americans are making a change at the start of the second half. Robbie Finlay is the man who is going off, and Benny Feilhaber is a player who is coming on, and a former teammate of yours, Danny.
Yes, played with him very, very briefly. My time at Derby, which was obviously cut short. But he's not a centre forward. He's a midfield player. He's got a few tricks, so it looks like it might be a change in formation for the USA, and already it looks like Dempsey's going to play up front alongside Altidore.
So another change from their coach Bob Bradley. He made a very early one, replacing a midfielder, Maurice Aidoo, coming on, and the man making way, Ricardo Clark, following a rather difficult opening half hour which included a yellow card. And the States here trail by a goal to nil. Their team, Tim Howard in goal, Bornstein, Demerit, Bocanegra and Cherundolo the back four. It's now Dempsey, Aidoo, Bradley and Donovan, with Feilhaber looking to support Altidore, and also Donovan playing alongside the Fulham forward as well, as Dempsey tries to bring the ball forward now, but the pass forward from Donovan doesn't find him, and Ghana will try and bring the ball away in their red and yellow striped shirts. Asamoah on the far side, the Ghanaian left, playing from left to right in the second half, and now Boateng plays it further wide towards the far side, and Ayew back towards Ayew again from the Pompey man, the only goal scorer so far after 5 minutes, but the Americans should clear. The Ghanaian team, Kingston in goal, a back four of Pansil, Mensah, Jonathan Mensah and Sarpai, Annan anchoring the midfield, with Asamoah and Boateng also playing in the centre as the Americans come forward now. Altidore inside the penalty area, Feilhaber with a great chance and a good save from Kingston. A flick shot from Feilhaber, beaten away by the goalkeeper. America coming forward again now. Aidoo with a left foot shot, snatched wide. And yet again, the Americans spurning a really good opportunity. Yeah, good break down the right-hand side, Donovan. Again, it was Mensah, stuck a toe out, was off balance. Altidore couldn't quite get there, flicked it to Benny Feilhaber, and it really, to the outside of his right foot, just tried to scoop it over the keeper. Keeper managed to get knee and hand on it, decent save, but again, positive start for the Americans, much better. Just to finish off the Ghana team, Asamoah and Boateng in the centre of midfield, Incoom to the right, Gyan down the centre and Ayew to the left, and Ghana lead here by a goal to nil. Only Cameroon in 1990 and Senegal in 2002 have managed to reach the quarter-finals from this African continent, as Dempsey slides forward now down this near side, but coming across to make the challenge was Jonathan Mensah, and that will be a goal kick to Ghana with 47 minutes played. A reminder, if the Americans can equalise, we could have extra time or even penalties here tonight, although neither of these teams have ever played extra time in a World Cup finals. At the moment, I think the Americans would settle for that, as Kingston clears downfield, but Failhaber heads the ball forward for the Americans. But Ghana have done well to defend so far in this game, and they do so again. But the Americans coming forward now with Cherundolo on the far side, their right. Altidore will win a throw-in and takes it quickly to find Donovan. High ball forward into the penalty area. Mensah has to make this. It's cleared away. Dempsey was bearing down on goal, and Jonathan Mensah did well to snake out a leg. And now Ghana can clear. Danny Mills.
Already much better from the Americans. You know, they're playing with much more purpose. They look a lot brighter. I think they needed half-time. Whatever Bob Bradley has done at half-time has worked to some extent already. You know, he's made another change, which again, brave decision, but they are now playing with purpose. They're trying to get forward and looking a lot better for it.
But Ghana have now won a throw-in down this near side, taken by Pansil. Now Annan down the Ghanaian right, and further back towards Jonathan Mensah, and a rather loose ball in field, and the Americans will try and profit as Donovan closes down Sarthai, and it's back with the lilac-clad Richard Kingston defending the goal away to our left-hand side. A long clearance downfield from the goalkeeper. Bradley, though, wins it for the States. Adu heads it wide to the far side, and Bornstein, but the Americans are not really clicking the passing game in the midfield area, and Ghana bring the ball clear with Incoom down the right, forward again towards Asamoah, infield towards Incoom again, and now Annan, who's done a very good job screening their defence from midfield. Boateng forward looking for Guillaume, but the move breaks down, and now Donovan brings it forward for the States. Dempsey back towards Bradley, industrious play from him to drive away from a challenge, but the ball in field finds neither Dempsey or Altidore, and Boateng will play the ball back towards Sarthai, and Ghana should clear the ball away again.
America just got to be a little bit careful not to try too hard, not to try and force it too early. There's still 40 odd minutes to go. You know, they will create chances if they play in the right way. If they force it and give it away, they'll lose confidence, and that will allow the Ghanaians to keep the ball. And we've seen in the first half, when they've got the ball, they can keep it very, very well.
We saw Bill Clinton and Mick Jagger signing autographs at half-time, and Bill Clinton really entering the spirit, wearing a US soccer tracksuit for this game. And he talked about the team's unimpeachable spirit following the Algeria game, and they need some more of that now as Ghana try and bring the ball forward down this near side, but a sliding challenge comes in from Bornstein on Incoom, and that will be a throw-in to the African team, who do win an awful lot of games just by the single goal, and that is the situation here at the moment. Pansil, a short ball towards Incoom on the edge of the penalty area, back towards the Fulham man again. A high ball swung into the box, headed away by Dempsey, only as far as Boateng. Now dab wide to the far side, and Asamoah, who comes in field and finds Ayew, and a good ball to find Boateng again, who cuts back in field and maybe goes for goal. A cross shot, right-footed, high across the face of goal, and behind for a goal kick.
Again, good individual skill, but a little bit greedy. On the point, on the corner of the 18-yard box, tried to bend it in the far post. Bit of a wonder goal, got it wrong, and an opportunity wasted.
Cherundolo brings it forward again now for the Americans, and the smoke continues to drift across this stadium from the nearby fields where the end of the summer crop has been burnt off in readiness for winter by the local farmers here. And it really is strange to play a World Cup game in such an isolated place. This stadium is on the outskirts of Rustenburg, and around this ground basically we have fields and very little else, as Bradley plays the ball forward now for the States to find Adu. Donovan clips it forward, and here's Bradley bursting into the penalty area, but Jonathan Mensah comes in with the challenge, and Ghana will clear the ball away again. And it needs the likes of Bradley to maybe break beyond the front two.
Yeah, no, definitely. Edu or Bradley have got to start forcing it and making those sort of runs and testing the Ghanaian defence.
Gian now with a shot for Ghana, had support left and right and went for goal, low right-footed and behind for a goal kick.
Again, seen him do that a lot this tournament, shoot from distance, yet to see him strike one cleanly. But just going back to the Americans, they need to start getting runners beyond the front men to cause problems. At the moment, everything is in front of the Ghanaian defence and relatively easy for them.
Bradley now does well to find Donovan. Altidore slid wide to the far side, and Dempsey down the American right. Clint Dempsey bursting towards the byline, checks back in field, high ball into the penalty area over the head of Bradley, headed away by Mensah, and now it's brought forward by Bornstein. A low ball into the penalty area, and just for a second there I thought Kingston had gone one way and the ball had gone the other, but the goalkeeper does well to regather his feet and gather inside the penalty area.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky. Decent ball in from Bornstein, and just gets a little touch off the Ghanaian defender, and fortunately for the keeper, didn't deflect it too wide of him.
Bornstein now plays the ball forward for the Americans, but gives the ball away. Boateng's ball wide to the far side, hits Donovan, and the Americans should be able to clear. 53 minutes played here, and Ghana lead by a goal to nil. But here's Donovan moving forward now for the Americans, wide towards this near side, looking for Failhaber. The challenge comes in from Pansil, and despite his pleas towards our Hungarian referee, a throw-in is given to the States.
Donovan's now come inside and is almost playing a free role behind the strikers, wandering all over the place, and he could be the key. They need to get him on the ball.
Donovan clips the ball in towards the far post over the head of Altidore and beyond the sliding challenge of Dempsey, and it's behind for a goal kick. And if Dempsey can get the ball along with Donovan in those areas, that is where the Americans can be dangerous.
Oh, it was a brilliant ball in. Unfortunately just over the head of Altidore. Dempsey couldn't quite reach it, sliding at the far post. But I think, Donovan, Dempsey, they are the key to this American team. They need to get them on the ball.
A goal kick for Ghana. 9 minutes played in the second half here. They lead the United States by a goal to nil, and Uruguay are awaiting the winners of this game in Soccer City in the quarter-finals back in Johannesburg on Friday. But a long way to go. A long ball played forward now for Ghana, but America win it back, and Failhaber plays a good ball forward towards Dempsey down the right. His ball in, though, is charged down by Mensah, and in the end a corner kick is given, but Dempsey has gone down and stayed down inside the penalty area there. A sliding challenge coming in from Mensah. I think it was a fair one. He won the ball, but as Dempsey went over the challenge, he may have hurt himself.
Yeah, he just tried to dink it over Mensah, but as he came in, Mensah was a good tackle. The outside of his right foot hooked it clear, and fortunately Dempsey's got to his feet.
Donovan will take the corner on the far side, the American right. 55 minutes played here, and Ghana still lead. Donovan's corner high into the penalty area, aim for Bradley. Ghana do well to clear. Failhaber tries to head the ball back in field, but the clearance is completed by Sarpai. And now Annan down this near side. The Ghanaian right plays a good ball forward, looking for Asamoah, but headed away by Bornstein at the expense of a Ghanaian throw-in. And you're sounding a bit gravelly, Danny. You've never been a smoker, though, have you?
Well, no. Unfortunately, I think it's all this travelling that we've been doing. Travelling all over this continent, and it's a very, very smoky atmosphere tonight.
It's very, very strange, isn't it? I don't think
nothing to do with the socialising at all that's been going on late into the night.
There hasn't been any, as far as I'm aware. Free kick's being given here to the Americans, and Bradley, the coach's son, will take it. Finds Failhaber, and now further wide towards Dempsey, but Ghana again have 9 shirts, outfield players behind the ball defending. It's very, very difficult for the Americans to break them down. Cherundolo now down the line far side, a ball forward looking for Dempsey, is cleared away, but now Dempsey has it quickly from a throw-in. Tight to the touchline down the right, he drives the ball against Sarpai, and eventually Kevin Prince Boateng comes in with the challenge and says get up to Donovan, as the throw-in's conceded on the far side, and Dempsey gets to his feet rather gingerly, but that was another fair challenge.
No, Boateng was right, got the ball, cleared the ball out for the throw-in, and really just the follow-through took him into Donovan. America, they just need something. They're doing okay. They're going to be very, very careful they don't get hit on the break, but at the moment the Ghanaians have earned the right to defend and sit back behind the ball, because they're 1-0 up.
Boateng with a high clearance deep into the American half again, and Tim Howard comes outside his penalty area to control. And looking at the replays at half-time, Danny, I think he'll be disappointed to have been beaten by the shot.
Yeah, didn't really do a lot. Boateng moved it slightly to his left, hit it possibly, wasn't the cleanest of strikes, maybe caught it a little bit on his toe, but there was a decent sized gap at the near post, and as most keepers will tell you, you don't want to be letting goals in there.
Ghana's first goal from open play at this World Cup as Altidore plays it forward for the Americans, but he can't find Donovan, and now a breakaway for Ghana, and it's Ayew. Plenty of space for him down the right hand side, deep into the penalty area now. Low ball across the face of goal, looking for Guillen, cut out well by Demerit and gathered by Howard.
The Americans will be susceptible to that all evening now as they push more and more forward. Fantastic break from Ayew, decent ball into the box. It was the last-ditched, outstretched leg of Jay Demerit that just stopped that going through to Guillen on the far side for a simple 2-yard tap-in.
Throw into Ghana now down this near side. Their Serbian coach Milovan Rajovac out on the edge of his technical area. His expression throughout this World Cup has never differed from glum, but inside he must be very happy with the way his team have played this game so far, leading the Americans by 1-0 and heading towards the quarter-finals of the World Cup here in Rustenburg. The Americans try and bring it forward again, but Bocanegra looks forward and everybody's marked, and there's no space at all for the Americans to attack, and as a result the ball forward is headed away by Boateng, and it's picked up by Benny Feilhaber, who has to go all the way back towards Bocanegra again. And you made the point, Dan, it's a good one. The Americans have to be patient. They have half an hour, and they may need all that time.
Yeah, definitely. If they go for it too quickly, is to just break forward again.
Cherundolo now on the far side, high ball into the penalty area, looking for Altidore, who controls, lays it back. Feilhaber's shot, brilliant block by Boateng on the edge of the penalty area. Feilhaber then goes down as he tries to fasten onto the rebound. Nothing is given, and Ghana will try and clear, and Guillen has fouled Bocanegra.
Again, decent break. Feilhaber looks to be hurt here. Two players slid in for the initial block. We've just seen it was meant to, and I tell you what, he's very, very lucky. Watching this again, Feilhaber gets to the ball first, or maybe not. That's very, very difficult. I don't know what you think, Nigel, but
maybe he got the ball and the man at the same time, really. Jonathan Mensah challenging Feilhaber right on the edge of the penalty area.
From one angle it looks penalty, from the other angle it looks like he just nicks the ball first. But a bit more positive for the Americans. They've just got to keep going. Yes, you're right, they have to be patient.
Ayew back now towards Demerit. No real pressure on him, just inside the American half, and he actually holds his arms out there, Jay Demerit, and says, what can I do? What's happening ahead of me? Now Bornstein down this near side, forward towards Bradley, on towards Altidore. Altidore does well to turn, spins away from Pansil, but can't go beyond Jonathan Mensah, and it's cleared away by Ghana again, long forward looking for Guillen, and it dribbles through towards Tim Howard. And really the body language there of Demerit summed up the way Ghana play and the way the Americans have been forced to play.
Yeah, he's looking for something. He's not the greatest player on the planet. He's not going to create anything himself. He needs movement in front of him.
Feilhaber brings it forward now in the centre circle, tries to thread it wide towards Donovan. A back flick on towards Dempsey, into the penalty area, he down, and it's a penalty to the Americans. Jonathan Mensah with a challenge on Clint Dempsey, and this could be the USA's route back into this World Cup.
Well, little Benny Feilhaber, he's been bright, he's been sharp since he came on. He poked a little ball through to Dempsey, who really, he got a touch fortunate. he nutmegs John Mensah, and as he's on his way into the box, just gets his toe there before Jonathan Mensah, who brings him down. And this is a golden opportunity now. It's going to be Donovan to take it. He is the main player in the United States. Is he about to become a hero yet again?
And Jonathan Mensah was booked, so if Ghana go through, he can't play in the quarter-final. But now this is America's big chance. Landon Donovan, the American soccer poster boy, has a penalty here to bring his team back into this tie at the World Cup in Rustenburg. And Donovan almost offering up a prayer there on his haunches before he takes this penalty. Kingston waits on the goal line. Landon Donovan takes a long run up, steps up right-footed and scores in off the post. Landon Donovan has done it for the United States, and their dreams of World Cup glory are now revived here in Rustenburg. Ghana won, the USA won.
I tell you what, that is an absolutely fantastic penalty under pressure. Just before, and you were right, he squatted down on his haunches, just as we see it again. It's side foot, powerful off the inside of the post. Even if the keeper goes the right way, he's got no chance.
A big night for Landon Donovan in more ways than one. He becomes the record appearance holder for the States in World Cup finals with 11 games, and now that's his 5th goal, his 3rd goal here at this World Cup. He also becomes their record goal scorer at this level as well. And Danny Mills, what do Ghana do now?
Well, it's interesting because, you know, for me, they haven't really tried to attack since they scored. They've been happy to sit back. You know, as we said before, when they go forward they can be sporadic, and really they're looking for moments of individual brilliance rather than a team goal. So now I think the Americans could be in the ascendancy.
Could be a long night as well, with extra time and penalties a possibility. High ball forward now into the American penalty area, but they clear, and they now look a different team as Failhaber tries to find Dempsey. Was he fouled inside the centre circle by Boateng? He was. And the Ghanaians just have to be careful here, they don't lose their discipline.
Yeah, they're diving in a little bit, a few rash tackles. We'll just go back to Bob Bradley. You know, he's made 2 substitutions, one after 30 minutes, one at half time, and I think, you know, that's brave. You know, he's prepared to make decisions. You know, probably not always the most popular with players, with fans, but, you know, he's brave, and I think he deserves his luck.
Well, the US Soccer Federation, as they call themselves, tried to give the job to Jurgen Klinsmann when Bruce Arena left following the last World Cup, but he was very much second choice, had a great record in the MLS at club level, and he's got this team playing a rather economical style, but in many ways, in these sort of situations, it works. Here's Donovan coming forward now on the far side, the right. The challenge comes in from Boateng. The Americans believe they should have had a free kick, but nothing was given. Donovan now snaps back at Boateng, and there's a bit of byplay there between the two players. Some arm waving from Boateng as the ball rebounds away towards this near side, and he's also a feisty character as well, as Asamoah manages to find Pansel down this near side for Ghana in their red and yellow stripes, playing from right to left against the Americans in all white here in Rustenburg, and it's now 1-1. Kevin Prince Boateng with the early goal for Ghana, equalised by the penalty from Landon Donovan. And you have to say as well, Danny, he scored some pressure goals in this World Cup.
Oh, you know, he's been there at the right time. You know, he's been the main man for them, cropping up whenever they've needed something. He's been there. But already, you know, the Americans, they look more comfortable. You know, a goal does wonders for your confidence, you know, wonders for everybody wants the ball now. You know, you suddenly get that burst of energy, you know, and that's gone throughout the whole team. And it wouldn't surprise me now if America are the ones that go on to and win this game.
America have now come from behind in every game at this World Cup, apart from the game against Algeria when they scored to win it in the 92nd minute. Another goal from Donovan. A long ball played forward now, looking for Altidore, who scored only 2 goals for Hull City in the Premier League this season. But in this sort of system, they maybe get more out of him, the Americans. Well,
they don't really use him as a goal scorer. He's the focal point, he's the big man up front. You know, they'll play balls into him, he'll hold it up and he'll bring other people, Dempsey, Donovan, into play. You know, it sounds odd as a centre forward, but he's not really expected to score the goals.
Pansel now with a throw in for Ghana. 65 minutes played here. 1-1 in Rustenburg. As Dempsey plays a ball forward now, looking for Altidore. Tight to the touchline down this near side. And Jonathan Mensah, who gave away the penalty and now would not play in any potential quarter-final for Ghana, plays the ball out for a throw-in down this near side to the Americans, who suddenly seem revived in this game. Failhaber's ball forward up towards the edge of the penalty area, cut out well by John Mensah, and now Boateng away from Failhaber, and he's done well to find Annan. AU is the outlet down this near side, the right, but he goes in field towards Guillen, who tries to twist away beyond the challenge of Bocanegra and almost buy a free kick from the referee, but nothing was given. And now Donovan coming forward for the Americans, finds Altidore, he's clean through inside the penalty area. Great challenge from Kingston, the goalkeeper, with his feet to save a certain goal. Had he not timed that right, it would have been another penalty and Kingston would have been sent off.
Great through ball, fantastic. Altidore was onto it very, very quickly, strong and powerful, but what a tackle from the keeper. Why he's come out with his feet, I'm not quite sure, but any centre-half or full-back would have been very, very proud of that. Absolutely brilliant sliding tackle.
Bocanegra with a late challenge now, midway inside the American half, and the challenge coming in on Guillen, and he's given a yellow card, Bocanegra, but I don't like that when a player, Kian there, was gesturing saying he should be booked, and as a former professional, Danny, that must have infuriated you.
Yeah, definitely. Well, once upon a time you were supposed to get booked for making that gesture. That seems to have gone out the window. I think it's poor, when you're deliberately trying to get another player sent off or booked. Just let the referee do it. You all see what's happened. Sometimes you might have a quiet word in the referee's ear, but the waving of hands I don't like at all.
And Bocanegra and Guillen are clubmates at Rennes in France, as Asamoah fires in a free kick into the penalty area, and Boateng there just tried to touch that ball on but couldn't do so, and Tim Howard gathers and now bowls the ball out for the States, and it's Dempsey moving forward now at pace on the far side, the right hand side, and in the end the challenge comes in from Sarpai, and Dempsey, who's been in the wars in the second half, is down again now by the corner flag on the far side. Sarpai also received the heavy end of that challenge. Both players down on the turf here in Rustenburg, and it will be an American throw-in, and Ghana are about to make a change as well in this game, their first change, and it's Lee Addy, a defender, who will be coming on, and he plays his club football in Ghana for Bechem Chelsea, so maybe a further defensive move, and they may be wary as well that Jonathan Mensah is on a yellow card.
Yeah, definitely. Just seeing the penalty again, obviously, we've got the benefit of the replays. I tell you what, an inch the other way and he misses. As it was, an absolutely fantastic penalty.
Throw-in on the far side for the Americans. 1-1 here in Rustenburg. Altidore twisting and turning, plays it back towards Donovan, and now Bradley, a good ball to find Failhaber, a little dink into the penalty area, can't find Dempsey, and Ghana can break in this game now. Very, very stretched and very open as we approach the final 20 minutes, and it could be a very, very long night here in Rustenburg, and a very late night for those of us travelling back to Johannesburg. Yeah,
definitely, but I tell you, Benny Failhaber, he's made the difference, I think. He's come on, he struggled to get in the team when I was at Derby. He then went off and tried other clubs. He's not really a regular in this American team, but he's got nice little touches, and he'll look for that little pass around the edge of the box, just trying to prod and probe things through, and I think he's been the difference in the second half.
Bocanegra's long ball forward, looking for Dempsey, headed away by Jonathan Mensah. Altidore tries to feed it back towards Landon Donovan, but it's cleared away by Ghana. But now they are second best as the ball's played forward into the penalty area for the Americans, looking to find the run of Adu inside the box, and it's through towards Richard Kingston. We welcome listeners to BBC 5 Live here to Rustenburg. 20 minutes to play in what has been an enthralling round of 16 tie here at the 2010 World Cup. It is 1-1 between Ghana and the United States as the Americans come forward again. Failhaber's ball into the penalty area beyond Altidore and behind for a goal kick. Ghana led for so long in this game. Portsmouth's Kevin Prince Boateng with a fine individual goal after 5 minutes, but the Americans drew level just after the hour. Clint Dempsey fouled in the penalty area, and Landon Donovan with a real pressure kick drawing the sides level. And Danny Mills, at the moment, the Americans are on top in this game, but Ghana still very dangerous on the break.
Yeah, definitely. The Americans in the ascendancy. They're the ones, that goal has galvanised their confidence yet again. They've come from behind once more. They were poor, bit jaded in the first half, maybe from what they've been through, but suddenly now they're the team pushing forward. They look sharper, they look brighter, but they have to be careful because the Ghanaians have pace, they have power, and they do not want to leave them exposed to get hit on the break.
19 minutes to play here, and if it's still level at the end of 90 minutes, we will have extra time and possibly penalties, and neither of these teams have ever played extra time in a World Cup finals. A free kick given to the Americans inside the Ghana half. Bradley's long ball forward, looking for Altidore. Back towards Bradley again, shot blocked inside the penalty area, and it spins away towards this near side, where Incoom will clear the ball away for Ghana up towards the halfway line in the stadium where the Americans drew 1-1 with England in the opening game at the World Cup. A very open ground on three sides and a very smoky atmosphere here tonight. All the local farmers are burning off the remainder of the summer crops here in the fields around this stadium, and as a result it's a very almost eerie atmosphere at times, with the vuvuzelas also blaring out on all four sides. Plenty of African support here for Ghana, all the locals supporting the lone African team in the last 16, but plenty of Americans here as well as Ghana make their first change, and it's Hans Sarpai, the fullback, who is coming off, and he's replaced by Lee Addy, one of the few players in their team who plays his club football in Ghana. He came to prominence towards the end of last season, also playing at the African Cup of Nations, and it's a very much, Danny, a pressure situation for him to come on to now.
Yeah, young player, played in the last game. I think he played centre half in the last game. He's gone over to left back, so he is a defender. So really, I would have thought it's probably an injury, because it's really just a like-for-like change.
Ghana in their red and yellow striped shirts, the Americans in all white here, with 18 minutes to play of normal time here on BBC 5 Live, your World Cup station. It's 1-1 between Ghana and the United States. Earlier on today, Uruguay beat South Korea by 2-1, and the South Americans await the winners of this tie in Soccer City in Johannesburg on Friday. And of course tomorrow in Bloemfontein, England against Germany. Full commentary here on 5 Live, a 3 o'clock kickoff, and an intriguing game as well in the evening, also at Soccer City, Argentina against Mexico. Both games in full here on BBC 5 Live, as America try and bring the ball forward now. Failhaber back towards Bocanegra, recently booked in this game, the American captain, the former Fulham player. Forward towards Bradley, but he miscontrols, and Ghana will try and bring the ball clear again. Pansel up towards Guian, their lone striker. Infield again towards Annan, but at the moment the Ghana passing not really clicking, and America bring the ball forward again, but Donovan runs into Addy. And now Kevin Prince Boateng, the Ghana goal scorer, plays it wide towards this near side, and at the moment this game could really go either way. Pansel forward towards Incoom, his ball in though, hits Bornstein, and that should be a throw into Ghana, but good recovery play by Failhaber to hook the ball down the line, but Ghana now win it back with Ayew down this near side, finds Asamoah. Asamoah does well to regain his feet. Forward now towards Incoom. High diagonal ball into the penalty area, and a clever header there from Guian going away from goal, fully 18 yards out, but he couldn't really get too much power on it, and it drifts over the top.
Yeah, it was a little dink onto the edge of the box from Incoom and Guian. It's going to be a very, very powerful header to beat Tim Howard from 18 yards out. But the Americans, they've settled down a little bit since the goal. They've passed it around a little bit better, but again the Ghanaians have really reverted back to type. They look organised at the back, but when they go forward they're attacking in ones and twos. They're not really helping each other out, not offering any support, and just allowing sort of the individuals just say, go on, get on with it. And I think that may well be their downfall.
34,976 the crowd here inside the Royal Bafokeng Stadium in Rustenburg, and considering the rather intense security around this ground before the game, they've all done well to get in even by this stage, as America come forward now on the far side wearing all white. Infield towards Failhaber, the former Derby County player, a former teammate of Danny Mills as well, down the line looking for Donovan, and it's hacked away on the far side by Pansel for Ghana. Up towards Guian, but Demerit beats him to it, and now Failhaber infield towards Rangers, Maurice Ayew. Bradley and the Americans beginning to pass the ball around now with real purpose. Jonathan Bornstein, one of their players who plays his football at home in the MLS, finds Bradley, and now Ayew on towards Donovan. A lovely move this. Altidore into the penalty area. Bradley's onside, and I think he didn't realise just how much time he had there. A low left-footed shot from the angle into the arms of Richard Kingston.
And that's what happens. America, they passed it around, but they passed it with a purpose, which was very, very good to see. It was sharp, it was bright. They broke forward, and all of a sudden it did. Bradley, he found himself in the box. He could have taken that on 2 or 3 more yards and got closer. Really panicked a little bit almost, and drove the ball straight at the keeper.
We have a break in play here. One of the Ghana players is down, and it's Kevin Prince Boateng just inside the Ghana half. Richard Kingston has kicked the ball out of play, so a slight hiatus here. A reminder, Andy Murray safely through at Wimbledon tonight, beating Gilles Simon in straight sets into the last 16 in SW19. And Kevin Prince Boateng here may have played his last in this game as he hobbles towards this near side. The right leg of his shorts has been pulled up, and it looks like a possible hamstring. Yeah,
he was just sat on the floor clutching that, and we didn't really know what was going on for a second there, because Kingston had just kicked the ball out of play, and we weren't quite sure, and then all of a sudden his Boateng went down, and it looks like he's definitely come off. Unfortunately for him, just stretching, he's obviously just pulled a hamstring.
Yeah, challenge there with Landon Donovan, the two goal scorers in the centre of the pitch. And a very significant change for Ghana, because Stephen Appiah is the man who will come on. Immense experience around European football, mainly in Italy, but he's barely played a club game in the past couple of years due to injury. A player of immense talent, often seen as the successor to Abide Pele in Ghanaian football, but it's a real shame for him because he always seems to be injured at crucial moments in his nation's history. But this is certainly one here, Danny, and he's on the pitch. Yeah,
again, because he's got that experience, could he do something special in the last 10-15 minutes?
Appiah now does well to play it wide towards the far side, and Ayew, and Guyan has timed his run well and is onside down the left. 13 minutes to play here, a long ball into the penalty area looking for Ayew, and it's cleared away by Demerit as far as Annan. Now wide towards this near side. Incoom does well to control the ball under pressure from Bornstein. Back towards Pansil, a low ball towards the near post, cleared away by Bradley. Altidore slips over on the halfway line, and now Jonathan Mensah, who was booked after conceding the penalty given to the United States, which means he wouldn't play in any potential quarter-final for Ghana, plays a long ball forward, and Demerit plays it back towards Tim Howard. 11 minutes to play, Danny. Do you think both teams now maybe thinking about extra time?
Well, it's one of those now, one more goal will probably kill the game, and that'll be it. For me, Ghana not really pushing forward, not looking for it. United States, they're the ones still probing.
A long ball played forward there, looking for Donovan on the far side, but headed away well by Addy, and now Ghana will try and bring it forward. Asamoah infield towards Annan, and now Appiah, neat turn from him away from the challenge of Bradley, and wide towards this near side and Pansil. Incoom has to time his run to try and stay onside down the Ghana right, but it goes back infield towards Appiah. This game almost being played at walking pace at the moment as Asamoah plays it wide towards the far side and Addy, and now Ayew. No Ghana shirts inside the penalty area as Ayew looks to hit the byline on the far side, the left, comes back infield to find Guyan, and that really is the Ghanaian problem. Not enough bodies inside the penalty area. The move breaks down and Donovan brings the ball away for the States. A ball forward looking for Dempsey, who rather runs into Appiah, and Ghana bring the ball away, and the ball will drift out down this near side for an American throw-in.
That's the Ghanaians' problem. You're dead right. They offer very little support to the man on the ball, and all of a sudden, it makes a 20-30 yard run down the line. He has to turn all the way back and go back to the fullback. They have got some very good, talented players, but they just don't seem to support each other when they're going forward.
Bocanegra's long ball forward looking for Dempsey. It goes over his head. Here's Altidore into the penalty area, goes down and scoops the ball wide from a prone position. Two players there went tumbling inside the penalty area. Altidore did wonderfully well to manage to get a shot on goal, and with Kingston beaten, it was inches wide of that far post.
Again, it was a long, hopeful ball through from the back. Altidore, they did well at him and Mensah. There was a tussle, and I think, I've just seen it there. Just as he goes to scoop it really with his left foot, he just slips under pressure from Mensah and just drags his shot wide. Very unfortunate.
We could see the look of exasperation on the replay from Bob Bradley, the American coach, but the Americans coming forward again now. Long ball forward from Donovan looking for Dempsey, who can't flick the ball on to find Bradley, but Dempsey was fouled there by Jonathan Mensah midway inside the Ghanaian half, and you've got to feel sorry for Clint Dempsey. Every time he goes near the ball now, he's clouted and is down injured.
That's 4 or 5 heavy challenges he's taken now. Yeah, that was a foul, a push in the back, and just as we see Altidore back on the monitors going through again, just as he goes to, he almost stands on John Mensah's foot, and that makes his standing foot, his right foot, give way. So when he swings with his left foot, he's off balance and very, very unlucky. It just drifts a yard wide of the post.
9 minutes to play here on BBC 5 Live in Rustenburg. Ghana won, the USA won in the round of 16 at the 2010 World Cup. This, an American free kick, 35 yards out in a central area. Clint Dempsey scored a dramatic goal at that end for the US against England. Dempsey strikes it right-footed into the wall. It breaks out towards Donovan. High diagonal ball into the penalty area, way overhit, and in the end it's gone behind for a goal kick.
Wasted free kick from Dempsey. Only 2 or 3 step run up and tried to drive it through the wall and really straight into it. That's poor. A player of his quality, if you're going to, you've got to go either round the wall, over the wall. You can't just expect to smash it straight at the wall and them all to get out of the way.
8 minutes to play here. Still 1-1 in Rustenburg. Uruguay beat South Korea by 2-1 in a rain-lashed Port Elizabeth earlier on. Luis Suarez scoring both their goals, and Uruguay are the first team through to the quarter-finals here in South Africa. Can the one remaining African team, Ghana, join them in the last 8 as Appiah chases a long ball forward on the far side, but it's cleared away, and that will be a throw into Ghana. Taken quickly towards Kwadwo Asamoah. Good pace from him to go beyond Dempsey on the far side. High ball into the penalty area. Guillen was there with the header, but glanced it rather than really getting too much power behind it, and it goes behind for a goal kick.
And again, because the Ghanaians, they're crossing from so deep, balls are... That's probably 16 yards from goal. To score a header from that distance against Tim Howard is virtually impossible. They've got to work the ball a little bit more, play into feet on the edge of the box, and if they're going to cross from within the 18-yard box, and then will have a much more better chance of scoring goals.
Flicked on by Altidore into the penalty area beyond Dempsey and into the arms of Richard Kingston, wearing all lilac, defending the Ghana goal away to our left-hand side. And for those listeners who weren't with us earlier on, it should also be said there are a large number of England flags inside this stadium. The Cross of St George from Blackpool, Leeds and Nottingham all around this ground. Of course, many England fans assumed England would win the group, and they should have been playing Ghana here tonight. Of course, they'll be in Bloemfontein facing the Germans at 3 o'clock, and there'll be full commentary tomorrow on 5 Live Sport as Asamoah is forced back towards the halfway line for Ghana to find Mensah, and now the Americans win it back. It's Bradley forward towards Dempsey, and now Altidore off and running on the far side, the right. John Mensah comes across to make the challenge and does well to find Kingston, who under pressure from Dempsey hacks the ball away on the far side, the goalkeeper, and that will be a throw-in to the States with 6 minutes to play. 1-1 here in Rustenburg. Landon Donovan on the edge of the penalty area, left foot shot from him, hits Jonathan Mensah, spins away on the far side, away for an American throw-in.
Just looking down at the bench, Bob Bradley making sure his defenders are concentrating. They are in the ascendancy, they're pushing forward, they look the more likely team to score, but they do not want to get hit on the break, because if they do and Ghana score, I fear it could be all over.
Appiah now, midway inside the Ghana half, does well to find Pansel moving forward. Infield again towards Annan. Good ball wide to the Ghana right, and Inkum. He has support outside him from Pansel again. Guillen and Appiah wait in field as Pansel plays it back towards Annan, and now Appiah jabs a ball forward, and Inkum there just for a second looked to have gone beyond Failhaber into the penalty area, but the flag was up for offside.
A little bit better from the Ghanaians, but again what they do, they pass the ball to people and they basically say, go on, you get on with it. They don't pass and go and look for the ball again, and I find that very, very strange. If they did that, they would be such a better team.
Now under 5 minutes to play here at the Royal Bafokeng Stadium in Rustenburg, and we could have our first game heading to extra time here at this World Cup as Demerit of Watford brings it forward now for America and finds Donovan. Not too much happening ahead of him, so back towards Demerit again, who comes square towards this near side, and Bocanegra. And now Bradley, the young midfielder, the manager's son, who's played really well for America in the second half, adding more support to their attacking pair up front. And now Bocanegra's long ball forward. Altidore will chase. Pansel has to be careful here with a header towards his goalkeeper, and the Fulham man did well.
Yeah, good defending. It was a horrible bouncing ball back to his keeper, but he kept his eye on it, kept his eye on Altidore as well, and was a good, decent header back to the keeper.
Long ball played forward now by the Ghanaians, flicked on by Guillen, but of course if he flicks the ball on, there's nobody ahead of him, and it bobbles through towards Tim Howard, and Ghana's lone striker there was rather making that point to his midfielders. Yeah,
they've got to support him more, get up with him. He's a decent player, but he's got nobody to give the ball to, and at times he's got 3 or 4 USA defenders around him.
Demerit now plays it forward towards Bradley inside the centre circle. He leaves it to Donovan, twisting and turning away to the right hand side, and now Clint Dempsey moving forward back towards Donovan. Donovan again looks for support down the left and finds it from Bornstein. High diagonal ball into the penalty area. Altidore may have strayed offside, but no flag arrived and Ghana will clear. Edu now has to head the ball back into his own half for the Americans, and Demerit has time to find Bocanegra. And America finishing the 90 minutes here in the ascendancy as Feilhaber is fouled by Asamoah, and that will be a free kick. 87 minutes played, and it's still 1-1 here in Rustenburg.
You know, at the moment, if anyone's going to win it, it's going to be the United States. They're pushing forward, they're still probing. They haven't really tested Kingston since the goal, but you know, they're just going to be careful they do not get hit on the break.
Ayew now trying to do that for Ghana, but the challenge comes in from Edu, and now Ghana have the ball back now with Stephen Appiah. A pirouette from him and a good looking ball wide to the far side for Lee Addy, who does well to keep the ball in play. And now Appiah again. Guillen makes the run down the left hand side. Appiah tries to find him by the corner flag, and he's done well to keep the ball in play initially, Guillen, but the assistant referee down this near side says the ball went behind, and that will be a goal kick.
Well, you know, it's very, very difficult, this sort of situation. You're into the last 2 minutes, really, and all of a sudden, what's going to happen is now, you start to get nervous. The last thing you want to do is give the ball away or concede a goal. So I expect now America won't push forward too much. They'll keep passing it, and I'd expect not too many chances in this last 2 minutes, and both teams really will almost be happy to go to extra time.
Altidore chasing a long ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Donovan goes down under the challenge from Jonathan Mensah, and that will be a throw into the States as we head towards the final minute here. Bill Clinton, the former president of the United States, sat alongside Mick Jagger here in Rustenburg tonight, and Mr. Jagger looked highly delighted when the Americans scored their equalising penalty. But Ghana try to clear now, and they do well. Here now is Addy on the edge of their penalty area. A rather dicey ball across the face of the box, but he finds Incoom, and now Pansil brings it forward for the African team. A run ahead of him from Asamoah, but Pansil goes back towards Incoom, and now Pansil again as we head towards the 89th minute as Ayew brings it forward but forgets to take the ball with him, but does well to find Incoom. A high ball in, headed away by Demerit, and now the Americans will try and break on the far side with Donovan. This game almost like a game of basketball from the NBA at the moment. Both teams very stretched and the play moving from end to end, and there's a Ghanaian player, Asamoah Gyan, down inside the American penalty area. Tim Howard calling for assistance, and our Hungarian referee has stopped the play.
Yeah, I think both teams now taking a big sigh of relief, you know, trying to get as much oxygen into their lungs as possible. Difficult for them, and all of a sudden now, you know, a minute left, I think they're just going to have to wait and say, you know, extra time looms, you know, and then, you know, both coaches going to have their work cut out. The Americans in the ascendancy, do they really go for it extra time, or, you know, are they cautious and thinking, well, we don't want to lose the game? Very, very difficult decision for the managers to make.
Asamoah Gyan has come away from the American penalty area, clutching his chest there. And we have now played the 90 minutes. We'll wait for the fourth official to show how much injury time there'll be. And there'll be 3 minutes between this game, currently tied at 1-1, and extra time here in Rustenburg. Incoom's high ball into the penalty area for Ghana. It drifts away towards the far side, and it's cleared away by Steve Cherundolo. And that will be a throw-in taken quickly by the Ghanaians, who maybe can just sense a dramatic late winner here for what is a very, very young team. Incoom now down the Ghanaian right. America have to be careful here. Lots of white shirts back around the edge of their penalty area. Pansils, high ball in towards the box, headed away well by Bocanegra. America need to clear here, and they're giving the ball away, and it's picked up by Andre Ayew down the right hand side, but he runs into the bulkier figure of Altidore, who's done well to win the ball back for America. Ayew tracks him back and then fouls him, and that will be an American free kick just inside their own half.
Yeah, Altidore did very, very well there. Got the ball, kept hold of it, you know, held off Ayew, kept running forward, striding forward, really to take the pressure off. Because for some strange reason, the Americans looked very, very nervous in the last minute. And they were under a little bit of pressure. Normally what happens in the final 2 or 3 minutes of injury time, somebody always gets half a chance, and it's just a case of whether they can take it or not.
And Andre Ayew was booked there for the challenge, and if Ghana do make the quarter-finals like his teammate Jonathan Mensah, he would not be able to play. American free kick played forward by Bornstein up towards the penalty area. Goodness me, it almost broke there off Clint Dempsey and John Mensah, and ricochet back towards the goal, but it was gathered there by Richard Kingston.
Yeah, unfortunate really. He tried to bring it down on the end of his toe, bounced back off, and fortunately for Ghana, just trickled through back to Kingston in goal.
And Abide Pele is here tonight, the very famous former Ghanaian player who has just seen his son AU booked and unable to play in the quarter-finals as America try and break on the far side. We played 2 of the 3 minutes of added time here, but Donovan has been caught offside. The man who scored his 3rd goal in this tournament, equalising for the United States after Kevin Prince Boateng's first goal for Ghana had given them the lead very early on in this game in Rustenburg. Ghana try and bring it forward now with barely 30 seconds to play. It's back in field towards Annan, maybe one final chance as it's played wide to the far side, and Guillen. Appiah waits in the centre along with AU, but Guillen appears to run into an American cul-de-sac. Adu tries to bring the ball away, but now Asamoah does well to bring the ball wide to the left-hand side. High ball towards the far post, and Bornstein cannot take any chances. He had Incoom bearing down on goal at that far post, and it's a Ghana corner. One final chance.
Good defending at the far post. Was fully aware of it coming at on the back stick. Just headed out for a corner. This will be it. This will be the final chance of the game. Changing the corner taker now, not Incoom anymore. And for some bizarre reason, the Ghanaians were in no rush to get on with this.
We've now played the 3 added minutes of injury time. Kwado Asamoah will take the corner kick for Ghana. High towards the far post, the heads go up. It was a Ghanaian head who headed the ball behind, and the final whistle has gone here in Rustenburg. It's finished Ghana 1, the United States of America 1, and we will have extra time to decide who will go through to face Uruguay in the quarter-finals.
Well, I think overall probably a fair result. For me, Ghana in the first half were much the better team, deserved their 1-0 win. Second half, Bob Bradley made some changes, formation change, tactical changes, and America were much better in the second half. They were much more positive. They were in the ascendancy. They got their penalty, got back into it, but then after that probably really only had one half-decent chance, which is Altidore as he slipped over going through. I think, we're now into extra time, and that's probably a fair reflection of the game.
90 minutes couldn't separate them. It's finished Ghana 1, the United States of America 1.
So 1-1 after 90 minutes. Kevin Prince Boateng giving Ghana an early lead, but Landon Donovan with a penalty after Clint Dempsey was fouled in the box by Jonathan Mensah. Dempsey took a good penalty, sent the goalkeeper the wrong way, in off a post. And I see the Americans are making another change, and they're bringing on Hercules Gomez up front, and it's Jose Altidore who makes way, and that is the 3rd and final change that Bob Bradley, the USA coach, can make. The Ghanaian players are in a huddle. I don't know, do you think 1-1's a fair scoreline at the end of the game? Ghana the better side in the first half, USA in the second?
Yeah, definitely. Like we said a few moments ago, Ghana, they attacked, and they the best I've seen them play in the first half. But the changes at half-time from the United States, they came out of the second half, played with a bit of purpose. Betty Verhaber was very, very good, playing little balls, dinky little passes around, and really made the difference. And I think, overall, both halves, the extra time, unfortunately, was a fair result.
So extra time for the first time at the 2010 World Cup, and the United States kick off, all in white, against Ghana, the last country standing in terms of African participation at this tournament, in the red shirts, mainly red kit with yellow stripes. And the ball is played forward by Appiah from the left-hand side, but it's through to Tim Howard, who is able to pick it up. So 1-1, the stadium here. I mean, we're in South Africa, but sitting here it feels like, with the weather and the darkness and the floodlights on and the stadium the way that it is, I mean, we could be in Romania in November. It is very strange. Wide open stadium, 2 tiers on all sides, but this side has a curving roof above our heads as the ball ricochets back into the Ghanaian penalty area, and Richard Kingston of Wigan Athletic picks up the ball and has it in his hands. 1-1 the score in the first minute of extra time, and the stadium did fill up before kick-off. The official attendance tonight is just short of 35,000 inside this ground, and 2 of those 35,000 are one Bill Clinton, who's got his USA tracksuit top on, and one Mick Jagger, who one assumes will be heading to Bloemfontein tomorrow. He's travelled all over the world, Mick Jagger, been here, there and everywhere. I wonder if he's ever gone in the space of 24 hours from Rustenburg to Bloemfontein. I doubt it.
I doubt he's ever been to Rustenburg before either.
Well, I would doubt that as well. Unless he was here for the England game, of course, a fortnight ago. Although I think we would have heard about it if he was. Lots of England supporters here. Strangely, lots of German flags are around the ground as well, which makes you wonder about their supporters' hopes when they were heading into this tournament, because the Germans would have been here had they finished second in their group. A cagey start to extra time. After a really decent 90 minutes, I felt that it began to change when Bob Bradley made that substitution after half an hour, taking off Ricardo Clark and bringing on Maurice Edu in midfield. And it was good to see as well, Bob Bradley, when Clark came off the field, explained it to him in real... It brought him over, having taken him off after half an hour, knowing how disappointed Clark would be. Stayed together, the two of them very close, explained it, and Clark went and sat down, and it's improved for the USA since then, I feel.
No, I thought it was a brilliant bit of management. He'd taken him off, he had been booked and was struggling slightly.
Long ball forward for USA up towards Donovan, but it's cleared away by Ghana, over the top, down the middle. Gian is off after it, chance here, Gian shoots into the net! Ghana take the lead for the second time in the match. This time it's extra time. That could be absolutely crucial, and Ghana have risen again in this game. It is the USA 1, Ghana 2.
Again, it was just a long, hopeful punt down the middle. You know, Demerit hasn't been able to cope with the pace of Ghan all night long. Howard really didn't have an awful lot of chance, and as he went through, 12 yards from goal, just smashed it into the back of the net, and really it's gone exactly the same way as the first half started.
He held off the challenge that came on him from Bocanegra, did well, stood up very well, because Bocanegra really used his power, but he maintained his balance, and as the ball bounced, struck it beautifully, left foot, dipping shot, past the dive of Howard. So Ghana in front for the second time on the night.
And again, you know, like we said, they attack us as individuals, but they do have some very, very good players. And again, that was strong, powerful, and a decent strike on goal.
So Ghana scored early on in normal time. Now they have scored early on in extra time. And their supporters, who are, I think it is fair to say, are outnumbered by USA fans inside this ground. They're really making themselves heard and seen. The distinctive red, yellow and green striped flag with the black star in the middle, that's what they call them, the Black Stars. Well, we can clearly see those flags now in the pockets of Ghana supporters. And that chap we saw in Soccer City the other night, Danny, he's here as well. The man who wears next to nothing and has painted himself red, yellow and green, and also has this bizarre cooking pot, I think it is, that sits on his head and is wrapped in a blanket. He'll be enjoying it. The USA now have to come back into it again. 2-1 Ghana lead. Long ball forward from Chunrundolo, the right back, up towards Gomez, who jumps for it but is beaten in the air, and Ghana clear away now. And I think it is also fair to say that the home supporters, the South African fans, in strong number here, up in this northern part of South Africa, are right behind the Ghanaian team. We are about 120 kilometres northwest of Johannesburg, so that's up towards the border with Botswana, and we're in Northwest Province, as it's known. Free kick to USA, left-hand side, 15 yards inside the Ghanaian half, and Donovan comes across to take this. Well, the USA have come back into this game once. They have 25 minutes of extra time to come back into it again without conceding a further goal. 5 live at the World Cup on a smoky night at the Royal Bafokeng Stadium. Free kick, rolled down the line, deep cross to the back post. Dempsey heads it down, and the shot is deflected wide of the post. It was blasted goalwards by Feilhaber and hit a Ghanaian defender, and that took it wide.
Yeah, decent free kick. They worked it short on the far side. Donovan, deep cross to the far post. Demerit and Dempsey almost got in each other's way. The rebound came down to Benny Feilhaber, who blasted it in, and I think it's hit AU, who's down. He's hurt, but they will now kill as much time as possible. But obviously the goal, that's crucial. The Americans have looked susceptible. Demerit hasn't been able to cope with the pace of Gyan all night long in Asamoah, and really that was their downfall. He was out of position and couldn't get back in.
AU is still down inside the penalty area, so the Americans wait to take this corner, and AU may well be stretchered off. He's being lifted onto the stretcher now, the Ghanaian number 13, with his father, his famous father in footballing terms, Abidi Pele, great Ghanaian player, played with Chris Waddle for Marseille. He's in the stands and he's watching one of his sons, AU, now being lifted off the field. So the USA will have this corner with 10 men in opposition. Donovan waits to take it. The Hungarian referee just is right in the middle of things. Donovan waits and now plays it out of the penalty area to Cherundolo. Cherundolo's cross into the box. Goalkeeper comes for it, didn't make it, and it's come off an American head. Could be Bocanegra and wide of the far post.
Well, they played the short corner with AU off the pitch. It was easy for Cherundo to whip the ball in. The keeper comes, doesn't make it, and there's 2-3. I think Edu's in there, Bocanegra's in there. Really, the keeper, if he's coming for the ball, he has to do better. Gets nowhere near it, and they're very, very unlucky, United States, not to equalise.
Yeah, it was Morris Edo, who got his head to it just next to Bocanegra, but it skidded wide. So goal kick Ghana. USA 1, Ghana 2 in extra time, and the ball is cleared out of play by the Americans.
And again, John, a bit like the first half, the Americans look stunned. It took them a while to react in the first half, and again, they haven't got as much time. They need to buck their ideas up and do something very, very quickly. AU's back on the field for Ghana, and Appiah does very well there to play it off the nearest American to him, and it bounces out for a corner to Ghana in this first period of extra time. Ghana in the last 16, just like they did at their first World Cup 4 years ago, when they were also the only African team to get out of the group, but now in position to make it to the quarter-finals. 2-1 their lead. The corner is across. Bradley clears out to Donovan in the D. Donovan cleverly plays it back. Feilhaber's ball away downfield is nowhere near Gomez, who was left up front, and Kingston can come out of his penalty area and wallop it away back downfield. The USA trying to pick up possession again. Here is Dempsey of Fulham, after that marathon season that Fulham had, ending in the Europa League final. Of course, he's up against one of his Fulham teammates, John Pansel, here tonight. Fulham again. Well, it could be Fulham in the white shirts. It's the USA. Bradley now, who looks very like his father, standing on the edge of the coaching area, both shaven-headed. Bradley now, forward to the edge of the area, hits Jonathan Mensah, bounces away, and it is cleared by Pansel, who was caught by Gomez as he cleared it, and the referee's given Ghana a free kick. Danny Mills is here with us in Northwest Province. I think America have got to be a little bit careful not to try and force things. They're a little bit rash. I'm not sure he caught him actually, as we see the replay, as he goes down under pressure, but they've just got to regroup. It did take them a long time. It's almost like they're in shock after letting another goal in. They just got to keep playing, passing the ball. They will get opportunities, because the Ghanaians will drop deeper and deeper and deeper as this game goes on.
United States 1, Ghana 2, and long free kick away downfield by Kingston ends up in the hands of Howard at the other end. If you've just joined us on 5 Live on this Saturday night, I believe it has been lovely again at home today. You may have missed the news that Andy Murray won through in straight sets to the 4th round at Wimbledon, and a little earlier than that, Rafael Nadal through in 5 sets again. And in the World Cup here tonight, Ghana, as it stands, are heading into the quarter-finals. They'd be only the 3rd African team to reach the quarter-finals at the World Cup, and it is Ghana coming forward with Nkoum, the youngster, one of the youngsters, who's done quite well tonight for them on the right-hand side of midfield. Challenged, and the ball runs back towards the left back, Addy, who came on as one of the substitutes. Now it's AU, pulls it infield, and little Annan there, the number 6, important player in this Ghana team, the defensive midfielder. Back to John Mensah, the captain, now to the right-hand side. This is very good from Ghana, confident, passing of the ball, but Appiah's ball down the line for the run of Nkoum is just overhit and out for a throw into the USA.
It's very much following the pattern of the first half. You know, Ghana scored very, very early, and then they look like a different team. They pass the ball well, they're keeping it. You know, they look supremely confident. You know, America can't get the ball, can't get back into the game. You know, they're going to have to do something. Obviously, no more changes. Bob Bradley's made his 3 substitutions, so it's now the likes of Dempsey, Donovan, out on the pitch. They're the ones going to have to do something and really make a difference.
Very tame free kick goes Ghana's way. Donovan penalised for that challenge. Free kick taken from the centre circle, and it's headed out of play by Cherundolo for a throw in. And immediately the ball is returned from the running track, and it's left by AU for Addy to take. 2-1 to Ghana on BBC 5 Live. We'll be all over England tomorrow. The kick-off at 3 o'clock UK time tomorrow afternoon. AU now in the full-back position, takes on Cherundolo. They're in no hurry, Ghana. Appiah, one of the Ghana substitutes, plays it back to another, Addy. Now a flick from Gian, who might have scored the goal that's taken Ghana into the quarter-finals. They've never been that far before at the World Cup. Cameroon and Senegal, the other 2 African teams to reach the last 8 of the tournament. Now Ghana still in possession. The USA can't get it off them, and then finally it's won back, and the USA can counter-attack, and it's 5 against 5. The ball to the right, Donovan is there. Donovan thinks about playing it left-footed, cuts in field, plays it into his opponent, and Addy was able to just steer it to another man in red and yellow for Ghana, Appiah. Now to the halfway line. The first half of extra time only has 2 minutes to run here. Appiah does well under pressure, but then the challenge slides in, but it's just shoveled out of play for a throw into Ghana 10 yards inside their own half. I've been watching the USA banners around the ground, and I noticed one of the USA homemade banners which read, "We have no exit strategy." Well, they are going to have to come up with something in the last 15-16 minutes of play. They have to find a goal. 2-1 down. Ghana with Nkoum now to the right hand side to John Pansel, and then Appiah, strong challenge from Bokanega, ball runs out of play. It's a throw into USA.
I think the US, they're shell shocked. They're not quite sure what to do. The goal really came out of nothing. All of a sudden now they've come back before, but again, have they got enough energy? Have they got emotional belief to get back in this game once more? They've already had to do it several times this tournament. I'm not sure now whether they will have enough to come back yet again.
Yeah, you made the point, didn't we, off air before the game. In the last 2 games they've had to dig deep. Against Slovenia when they came from 2-0 down, and then the Donovan winner in stoppage time against Algeria when they were heading out, but went through and came back here as group winners. Still stars and stripes flags wave around the ground. Free kick to the USA, played to Cherundolo. He hits it high into the area. Dempsey heads it out, helped back in towards the back post, and Edu is there, and he was strongly challenged and goes down heavily, but the ball out of play for a throw into Ghana in their own left back area. And we've got less than 30 seconds of the first period of extra time to go here. The 4th official waits, and Bob Bradley is there as well with his arms crossed. I really don't know about you, I feel that Bob Bradley has got a real touch of the "sir, yes sir" about him. He's got a military air. USA have the ball back. Edu's after it in centre field, plays it towards the left back, Bornstein, who's going to shoot. He does. He perhaps didn't need to do that, and he cracked it straight into Pansel. And we have 1 minute of added time at the end of the first period of extra time, with Ghana leading by 2-1, and they've won themselves a throw in, and they're going to wait here. There's no hurry to take it.
No, they will just run the clock down now as much as possible. They'll get the ball in the corner, they'll take their time on free kicks, on throw-ins, you know, and they just want that clock now. They want that to disappear as quickly as possible.
A helicopter buzzes not far above the stadium here. We can clearly see it. It's green and white lights flashing. Security was incredibly tight here tonight. Bill Clinton is here. That was probably the reason for it. Barack Obama is at the G8 summit, but there is a cardboard cutout of him inside the stadium this evening. Now Dempsey, as the USA win it back, and Dempsey cuts back now, but the challenge came in on him to knock it out of play, and that is just about it for the first period of extra time. The referee looks at his whistle and he blows it, and Ghana lead the USA by 2-1 as we'll head into the second half of extra time. Danny Mills.
Well, this is yet another huge team talk from Rod Bradley. You know, what does he say to his players? Somehow he's going to turn this round yet again. They've just got to go for it, simple as that.
Ghana are heading through to play Uruguay unless the USA can score. 2-1 Ghana, half-time extra time.
Thank you, Mark. Only Cameroon and Senegal have done it before, but Ghana are now 15 minutes away from a place in the last 8 of Africa's first World Cup. America had a rather ragged team huddle during the break between the two periods here in extra time, but Ghana get the second half underway, playing from left to right, and they find Incoom down this near side, the right, a low ball into the penalty area, rather gingerly played away by Jaden Merritt, and now the Americans will try and bring the ball forward. So many times in the World Cup so far they've come back from improbable situations. Can they do it again here? Gomez on the far side there right, now Donovan finding Bornstein, back towards Gomez again, and now Donovan square to Edu, space to move forward, but America rather going sideways and backwards at the moment. It's Bornstein again finding Maurice Edu, and now Bradley back towards Feilhaber, but his ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area is cut out well by Annan, and Ghana will clear. And the thing here, Danny Mills, if Ghana get the breakaway, the US are finished, and they can't afford to be too reckless.
No, definitely. You know, they have to go for it. You know, if not, they're going out of the competition. But if they do it in a reckless manner, just, you know, gun-ho, throw bodies forward, the pace and the power that Ghana do have, and that's probably the best way that Ghana play, is on the break as individuals going forward. They're going to be very, very careful.
And a familiar sight here for Ghana fans. Stephen Appiah was down injured. He was furious about the challenge from Maurice Edu on halfway, but Ghana do have a free kick with 90 seconds played in the second period of extra time here in Rustenburg. Ghana lead the United States by 2-1. They seemed out on their feet at the end of 90 minutes, but Asamoah Gyan, with his third goal of this World Cup, has given the African team the lead. And as John was saying, their national flags are now being waved lustily all around this stadium. But the Americans have shown already in this competition they are a team who don't know the word surrender, as they bring the ball forward now. Ghana with Asamoah. He's got support left and right and goes short towards Gyan, and now back towards John Pansel. And here is Samuel Incoom, but he allows the ball to just touch the byline and go out of play. And America have a throw-in down this near side with 13 minutes to play. Trailing here by 2-1. A long ball forward, looking for Hercules Gomez, but Ghana will clear, but it's given away by John Mensah. Here's Bradley now, forward towards Dempsey, and Bradley goes for the 1-2 but can't gather the ball on the edge of the penalty area, and Ghana will clear the ball long downfield towards Tim Howard.
You can already see it, players are getting tired, 1 or 2 mistakes, passes are going astray, players can't quite get to the ball as it bounces. You know, I think there will be probably 1 or 2 big chances during extra time, in the second half extra time, but can America take them?
Bornstein coming forward now into the penalty area, and he's pulled down right on the edge of the penalty area down the left hand side, and America have a free kick here. The challenge coming in from Samuel Incoom. He was pulling the shorts there of Bornstein. Bornstein went down inside the penalty area, but the initial challenge was just outside.
Yeah, good referee. Had his shorts pulled outside, had a bit of a stumble, and then went down inside the box, but the referee got it right and gave the free kick, not a penalty.
Landon Donovan over this free kick for the States. Every Ghana player back. Donovan swings the ball in, fisted away by Richard Kingston. Commanding goalkeeping. There was a forest of American players there waiting for that set piece, but Kingston came through the lot and punches the ball away on the far side for a throw-in.
Good ball in, good keeping. He's flapped at a couple this evening, but that was confident and did very, very well.
Dempsey finds Bornstein, a low ball into the penalty area, appeals for handball as Ghana bring the ball clear, and Anna now plays it forward towards the far side, and Asamoah, and he's away from the challenge of Cherundolo, infield towards Appiah. Appiah has support down this near side, the left, and Ayew now controls the ball. Ghana may be looking for a third goal to finish things off, but The momentum has rather gone from the move as Incoom plays it back towards Jonathan Mensah, but now Incoom has the ball back again, and it's with Andre Ayew, who received a second yellow card in this game, so should Ghana go through, he would not be able to play. And Jonathan Mensah, one of the central defenders, also in a similar position as the ball is played forward, and America have won a free kick for offside midway inside their own half. On 5 Live Sport from the BBC, your World Cup station, England against Germany tomorrow from Bloemfontein, a 3 o'clock kickoff, but Ghana now looking to also reach the last 8, but they're having to defend. Here's Bradley, 25 yards from goal for the Americans. Back towards Ayew, wide towards this near side, and Failhaber. High ball towards the far post, headed away well by Lee Addy, the one Ghana-based player on the pitch for them, and it's cleared away at the expense of a throw-in. Taken quickly, there's a Ghana player down, but Dempsey plays on, a high ball in, headed away by Jonathan Mensah, and there's a Ghana player still flat out inside their penalty area, and belatedly Ghana play the ball out of play. Richard Kingston is furious with the referee, saying, why didn't you stop play? And it's Samuel Incoom who tried a dramatic overhead kick to clear the ball away and seemingly injured himself when he fell over.
Well, you're right, he tries the overhead kick, he lands on his back, he looks to go and get up, and then probably realises, he's slightly winded and lay down and really just trying to waste time. When Donovan got the ball, he should have driven into the box. There was a player down in his way. He crossed it really unnecessarily. If he'd have driven into the box, caused all sorts of problems, the man laid in his way, would have got in the defender's way as well. The Americans, they've got to be a little bit more positive, but as we just saw, they have to be very, very careful, because the pace that Ghana have, they are very, very susceptible now to getting hit on the break.
Ghana about to make their final change, and it's a familiar face. Sully Muntari, formerly of Portsmouth, and now of Inter Milan, is the man who will come on, and it looks as though young Samuel Incoom is the man who will go off, and Sully Muntari is periodically fallen out with the coach, the Serbian Milovan Rajovac, but he'll now come on with barely 8 minutes to play here, plus injury time, and Ghana leading the United States here in Rustenburg by 2-1.
Well, the Ghanaians now, they're going to drop deeper and deeper into into their own box. They've got to be mentally strong. The US are going to throw everything at them. So they've got to stand up. They've got to head balls. They've got to head heads. Keep that ball outside their penalty area.
Bocanegra now, the final man for the US. A long ball forward up towards the edge of the penalty area. Ghana will clear, and there's a missed kick by Bornstein down this near side, and Ghana believe they've won a throw-in on the halfway line as Sully Muntari looks to come on. And Incoom is the man, of course, who was carried off, and he's currently been taken around the pitch here, the Ghana player who was about to leave the field. But in many ways, Muntari, the ideal man for this sort of situation. He's got the experience, he's played in high pressure games for Portsmouth and Inter Milan.
Well, you just need someone like that to get on the ball. He will demand the ball and keep the ball. If at the end of the day, if the Americans haven't got the ball, they can't score. So really, this is in the Ghanaians' hands. They have shown that they can be very, very good and keep the ball. If they do that till the end of the game, they're through.
Plenty of nervous faces now all around this Royal Bafokeng Stadium here in Rustenburg. The Americans trailing by 2-1. Bill Clinton here, the former president, in his US soccer tracksuit, looks on anxiously as America bring the ball forward. Failhaber's high ball into the box, headed away well by Mensah towards the far side, where it's picked up by Donovan. Plays the 1-2, and now it's wide towards Cherendola, who tries to play the ball into the penalty area, and the ball goes behind off Addy, and that will be a corner.
And again, the Americans, they've got to be a bit quicker. Donovan's taking his time going over. They need to get the ball in the box. They're going to have maybe 2 chances, good chances maximum in the last few minutes. They're going to have to make one of them count.
The corner's played short by Donovan. Cherendola with a high ball in, headed away at the near post by Asamoah. Back towards Donovan again. And now Cherendola with a high ball in a second time, headed away by Addy up towards the halfway line. Guillaume will try and break, but the challenge comes in from Bornstein, and the US have conceded more ground and are thrown on the far side now with barely 6 minutes to play. An African team is on the verge of reaching the quarter-finals in Africa's first World Cup.
And just looking around, Donovan looks dead on his feet. He's dropping deeper and deeper. You know, almost struggling to break into a jog at the moment. I just think now maybe it's all been a bit too much. They've done fantastically well. I'm not sure they've got enough energy left in the tank to pull this back again.
The smoke continues to drift in off the fields all around this stadium. It's a very strange sight as Feilhaber is fouled by Annan inside the centre circle, and the Americans now will try and move the ball forward with 5.5 minutes to play. And a lot of faces painted in the stars and stripes look very disappointed all around this stadium, because once the Americans had won the group, they'd have seen Ghana as a far easier proposition than Germany, but the Africans have played extremely well. But now America have the ball inside the penalty area, and eventually it ricochets through off Sulley Muntari into the grateful arms of his goalkeeper Richard Kingston.
Yeah, Talksport there, decent header back across goal from Dempsey. The ricochet came off Muntari and really just bobbled into the keeper's arms.
Ayew comes away from a tired challenge for Ghana down this near side, curls the ball into the penalty area, and it's flicked off to Rundalo, and it's gone behind, has it, for a goal kick, for a corner rather, and it has on the far side. And Asamoah Gyan urges the Ghana support to get behind their team in the final stages here, although very few Ghana players seem keen to take this corner.
No, of course they want to run the clock, but that's key. You know, the fans at this point, your legs are tired, your mind is tired, you're susceptible to mistakes. You get the crowd behind you, it gives you that extra 10%, you know, energy and belief.
This would be so important for African football, to get a team into the quarter-finals, as the corner is played in towards the near post, flicked on by Gyan, and it goes away down this near side for a throw-in. Uruguay awaiting the winners at Soccer City back in Johannesburg on Friday. And not too many people, Danny, would have predicted a Uruguay-Ghana quarter-final.
No, definitely not. You know, I thought USA would win this game. But Ghana have improved greatly, you know, and the pace and power that they have, and they've shown that tonight, you know, and that's what's got them the lead.
The ball's played down this near side for Ghana, and they've won a throw in. All Bob Bradley can do, the American coach, is flick the ball back towards John Pansel, and Ghana now trying to slow down the clock. 3.5 minutes to play here on BBC 5 Live at the 2010 World Cup. Ghana on the verge of making history, reaching the quarter-finals for the first time ever, and they would be only the third African team to manage that achievement. The Americans, though, may have other ideas. A long ball played forward, looking for Dempsey, who almost controlled it on the edge of the penalty area, but Addy will clear. A high hanging ball forward, headed on by Bocanegra, and I think it was missed there by Jonathan Mensah, but it was beyond Hercules Gomez and into the arms of Kingston again. Again,
you know, Dempsey's touch before that was really down to concentration and tiredness. Mensah the same. You know, players now will start to make mistakes, you know, as legs get tired, cramp up slightly. Very, very difficult. They've got to dig in as much as they possibly can and fight for everything.
Bradley now with the ball forward down this near side, looking for Gomez, but the pass was behind him, and it's out for a throw into Ghana, who are taking all the time they can now to wind down the clock with 2.5 minutes to play here in Rustenburg. Ghana 2, the United States of America 1, but in the context of this World Cup, it's almost Africa 2, the United States of America 1. Such has been the excitement around this game. All the South African papers urging the local people to come out and support Ghana tonight, and they've done it in great numbers. And Ghana try and bring the ball forward now with Appiah infield towards Gyan and back towards the very impressive Annan, but the ball forward can't find Gyan a second time, and America will clear. Feilhaber now down this near side there left. 4 or 5 white shirts moving forward ahead of him. He's got the option of Gerundolo offering width on the far side. Infield though towards Donovan, and it's a tired pass straight towards Andre Ayew, who finds Asamoah Gyan down this near side. Is he fouled by Edu? I don't think the free kick's been given, but Ghana do have a throw-in down this near side. But the free kick has been given.
I think that sums it up for the US. Donovan there, ball came to, tried to flick it around the corner. Tired, late swing, got it completely wrong, and toe poked it back to the Ghanaians.
And the long ball forward from that free kick aimed for Stephen Appiah. It was rather labouring as he headed towards the byline near side, and America have a goal kick. Just over a minute to play now. Cleared away by Tim Howard, but Mensah gets there for Ghana, hoofed away into the American half. DeMerit heads it forward. Bradley's touch now finds Morris Edu. Maybe one final chance now for the Americans. It's Failhaber. Dempsey calling for the ball, but it's wide towards the far side, and Cherundolo's done well to go beyond the initial challenge, but Addy steps across, the youngster, to play the ball away, and that will be a throw-in to the States. Taken quickly to Donovan, now Cherundolo with a high ball into the penalty area. Gomez nods it back, Dempsey's shot, great block by Mensah inside the penalty area, and the man who may not play in Johannesburg may have put his team through.
Oh, that's an absolutely fantastic block. He's thrown himself in the way. Good header down from Dempsey. The shot came in and he just threw his body, took one for the team. Absolutely brilliant defending.
Gomez now with a shot, and I think he tried to catch Kingston out there at the near post, but it took a deflection and it's gone behind for a corner to the United States with 10 seconds of normal time to play, and Tim Howard is heading forward into the penalty area. This is the game right here. Landon Donovan with a corner. There'll be 3 minutes though of added time at the end of extra time following the injuries. Donovan with the corner, high in, fisted away by Kingston towards the far side. Cherundolo will keep the ball in play. Howard still waiting inside the penalty area. The ball's in, headed on by Bocanegra. Howard's up there with the other goalkeeper, Kingston, fisted away. Demerit with the volley over the goalkeeper and over the top as well.
That could well be their last chance, but I always find it amazing, a bit of a scramble in there. Why do you leave a defender back who can obviously head the ball better than a keeper and send the keeper up? I've never understood that, but I think that could well now be the United States' last chance. They look tired, they look dead on their feet, and I think now Ghana will just see the game out.
Listen to those vuvuzelas all around this stadium, the Ghanaian national flags being waved above heads as well. They are so close now to the quarter-finals. 2 minutes of added time to play. America desperate now. They give the ball away. Ayew forward again towards Gyan. Appie's ahead of him. Appie must be offside. He is offside. He thinks about having a shot and in the end allows the ball to run through towards Tim Howard, and America have one free kick and maybe one final long ball forward.
That's criminal. Keep the ball. Don't give it back to the opposition.
The ball's flicked on by Mensah towards his own goal. Gomez almost fastened on to the ricochet, and it's cleared away by Jonathan Mensah. And it's chaos there. Absolute chaos inside the Ghana penalty area.
Tired last minute defending, like I said. Head the ball. Just get the ball out of the box by any way, shape or form you can.
Bocanegra's high ball in, looking for Gomez. Dempsey with a flick header, and it's wide of the near post and behind for a goal kick. And we have a minute and 10 seconds of added time to play. The Ghana players out on their feet, the American players out on their feet. This is what the World Cup does to players.
Both teams, they do look so tired, giving the ball away, making mistakes. Concentration goes. Really now, few seconds left. I don't expect the United States to get another chance, and well done Ghana, they've made it through.
Kingston clears downfield. Gomez heads it forward. There's a forlorn chase there for Clint Dempsey down this near side. Pansel plays the ball away for Ghana. Ayew does well to keep a passing field down this near side. Appiah waits ahead of him. The challenge comes in from Failhaber, but in turn he only gives it back towards Appiah. 30 seconds of normal time to play. Here's Stephen Appiah for Ghana. He turns back towards his own goal and finds Pansel. A hopeful ball lobbed forward looking for Giam, and it's cleared away as far as Sully Montari on the far side, the Ghana left, and he slips over as Donovan makes the challenge, but Montari does well to hold possession until America now win it back, and that's it. The full-time whistle goes. Ghana celebrate, Africa celebrate. Africa has a team in the quarter-finals of its first World Cup. Ghana cannot believe it. For the first time ever, they're into the last 8, and their joy is matched by American despair. The Africans have won by 2-1.
Fantastic for Ghana, fantastic for the continent, for the nation, for everybody here associated with Africa. Absolutely brilliant. It was a hard-fought game. In all honesty, it could have gone either way. It was a moment really of pace and power and opportunities, and when Gyan burst through onto a long hopeful ball forward, smashed the ball past Howard, and after that the Americans just looked beat. I think maybe this was just one match too many for the Americans after everything they've been through, but credit to both teams. Fought it well, absolutely brilliant, a great game, great entertainment. Well done Ghana.
John Pansfield does his familiar lap of honour, carrying a Ghanaian national flag above his head, away towards the supporters on the far side. And we've been here, Danny, for a number of days, a number of weeks. We've seen what this World Cup means to African people, to African football, and to have a team in the quarter-finals almost makes everything worthwhile.
Oh, you know, it's fantastic. Where John Pansfield's got the energy to do a lap of honour, I don't know, because he's going at some pace as well. But it is, it's an African. It's not just South Africa. It's the Africa World Cup. And as we said earlier, all the nations, all the African nations are supporting Ghana. That's absolutely fantastic, and it's brilliant. Lads, both teams, it could have gone either way, but well done Ghana. They're now into the quarterfinals.
History has been made here in Rustenburg. Ghana are through to the quarterfinals for the first time in their history, and the United States of America are going home. The African team have won by 2 goals to 1.